Do it live.
Cutting me out then.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm fat. Listen, you sat next to a fat dude. You're going to be cut on the camera. Hey, everyone. We're Bangin Beers Podcast here. This is Bangin Beers with Blackwell, Ben, and Brett. So a lot of bees going on. This is a huge bee episode. This is a lot of bees. Austin's somewhere here. He's hiding behind my fat body. Austin's home from the Navy, which is cool. So thank you for hanging out with us and bringing all these West Coast beers. So this is our Tupac episode. California love. And next to Austin is Brett from the Cake Stand in Monty City. You've heard us say that a bunch of times. We get a lot of beers from there. If you're interested and you're in the area, you're looking for a place to find beers, check out. I know a lot of people that are big craft beers. They'll drive from like here to Minersville and check Minersville out. School Haven's a big place. Frackville has a place here. But add Monty City to your list. The Cake Stand has a great selection, cold and refrigerated, and then normal temperature, so that you can get either one. Very large selection. If there's something you're looking for, go in there and then let him know, and he will try to find it for you. Like I said, we do it all the time, and then he messages us a lot with the different stuff. So if you're interested in what the Cake Stand is getting, follow us on Bangin Beers on Facebook, and every time they get a selection in, we'll start putting that up there and let you know what the new stuff is. So definitely check that out, and check them out on Google and give them a review if you haven't done so already. So that being said, we'll go around the room. We have Ben, that everyone already knows. This is my Uncle Butch. Next to Uncle Butch is his little brother, my dad, Tony Sr., who we did an interview with and talked about the volunteer firefighter services. We introduced Brett. Then we have Austin, my little brother of 11 years difference. They're 9 years difference, so we're 11. And then myself, Anthony. So
that's a little bit symbolic. 9 and 11 years.
So how far month-wise were you born? What?
June. He's born in April.
All right. So there's a little bit of a gap there. Me and Austin are both December babies. Is there a story behind why we're both in December?
Mom's birthday, I guess.
So we're birthday sex babies. Yeah. So someone gets at least something for their birthday, and then it spawned.
Or unless it was just coincidence.
I figured it out. I was a New Year's since I was 6 months. I was a New Year's. I was more than likely.
I was
born. My father was drunk. When
I was a tumor, I was a
tumor.
tumor. So
yeah, you were a tumor.
Yeah. My mother thought she had a tumor and went to the doctor, and Dr. said, "No, Daddy, you're pregnant." Surprise.
Yeah. So it's either Mom's birthday or St. Patty's Day, right?
Yeah, somewhere around.
Yeah. So the luck of the Irish, I guess.
Yeah.
My father did, and they denounced their Irish side. Especially my dad.
I'm not Irish.
You're Irish.
I have no Irish in me.
Oh, that's right. You're the black.
Blackwells are not Irish.
Yeah, that's English.
Dutch Welsh.
Welsh, English, and the other half's Italian.
Yeah. Now you actually did a lot of research on the Blackwell name.
Yeah, we can trace the Blackwell name officially back to the 1795. A David Blackwell got married in Robeson Township, and the guy that did the actual ancestry wasn't me, but he told me, I met him, and he said that David's father, he had it narrowed down to two people. Both of those people fought in the Revolutionary War and signed the Oath of Allegiance to William Penn. So we can trace back that far, and the guy that did the ancestry said he thinks we came over as indentured. Someone came over as an indentured servant before that. So Blackwell side's been here for a while.
So we were slaves.
Not slaves, not slaves. Indentured servants. There's a difference.
Yeah, they don't get beat as much.
We went. You're right, and they actually had rights, but they went from Robeson Township to the Minersville area, and then from Minersville, they got into Monty City a little after the incorporation, like before 1900.
So there's a really good chance if someone in School County has a Blackwell name.
We are related to the Blackwells in Gerardville, the Blackwells in Frackville. Yeah. Blackwell's obviously in Monty City.
And I don't know any of you. So if you are a Blackwell let's figure it out. Because I don't like I said, my Blackwell stops at this table. Like,
Yeah, I don't know the Blackwell side of the family that much.
yeah, I don't know any.
And the guy that did the ancestry, that part of the Blackwells ended up around Wilkes-Barre, up in Lackawanna County, and that's how he got stymied, because the ancestry stopped in this like he couldn't figure it out, and then he stumbled upon it. But the funny thing was, I tried to look for myself online, and I came across on not ancestry.com, but it's something else. Somebody was inquiring about my great grandfather, and
the car dealership.
No, the guy before, like his father. His father.
While you're telling your story, we're just gonna get the first one started.
And it ended up, there was an email address there, and I emailed the guy, and he emailed me back like on a Thursday and said, we are related. And he said he's going to be in the Shendel area that Saturday. And he went over to Vanellis's. And when I met that man, if you never knew your great grandfather, my grandfather, if you would have put wireframe glasses on my grandfather at age 63, which this guy was a couple of years ago, they were twins.
Really?
Literally twins.
And you've never met him your whole life?
Never saw him. Never put eyes on him before that. He's the Blackwells, well, with our father, had striking blue eyes, like sky blue. And this guy had those, and the same receding hairline like you're having. That's
I don't have a receding hairline. Let's stop that.
Well, it will.
Yeah,
it will.
Listen. I'm doing very well.
It's going.
There's no receding at all. I'm great. Listen, I dodged that bullet. Listen, I didn't dodge the belly.
You didn't dodge the bullet. It just hasn't happened yet. Take my word for it.
Notice this end of the Blackwell is very shiny, and we're
still got the hair.
Hopefully, that's what the only Mikhail trait we have.
And our shitty facial hair.
Yeah, we have terrible facial hair. We can't grow beards to save our lives.
This is HFS. This was
this stands for holy fucking shit.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. So they get a little cocky with their names. Like they're confident in their beer.
The West Coast is very they try to put as much IPA out there as they can.
Okay.
Like in San Francisco, they have an IPA festival. Like if you're not above at least a double IPA, you don't get a table.
They don't want to hear about you.
Yeah.
Now, I had beers while I was in Vegas, and so that was I had a couple beers I had a couple different breweries in Vegas. I thought they were good breweries, but so one of the main things that I've learned over the time, I'm not a IP, I don't know when it comes to how it's made or the fancy stuff. So if you're looking for a beer show that's going to be oh, this is you're not getting it from us. But one of the big things I've learned with it is your water source. Your water source makes a huge impact on your beer.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of being an East Coast beer in Pennsylvania, your Pennsylvanians, your DCs, your New Yorks, your Ohios, your that. You can they've stronger. They're one of Pennsylvania is one of them, has the most breweries in this, I think, in the country. In Pennsylvania, we're one of the highest, and a lot of that they say is because we have a really good water source in our area. A lot of the Vegas beers I've had tasted very watery. I didn't get a lot of flavor profile in a lot of the beers I had when I was in Vegas.
So in other words, we're kind of spoiled here.
Kinda. So
yeah,
the first sip of this, it's good. I don't mind.
It's hoppy. You can definitely tell.
It's an IPA.
It's an IPA, but
there's an interesting aftertaste.
There's an HFS.
HFS
kind of lacks in the holy. Didn't give me a holy.
It doesn't give me a holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
No,
it kind of finishes dry.
But
it's
super
hoppy.
It's a dry finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, but it doesn't live up to the name.
I've had some HFS beers on this show. Some IPAs. So in my recent memory that I can, and I'm going back to the keg stand here, but that Devil Hop, the one that looked like a comic book.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
It was like a 9% IPA, and tasted like it was like a 2.
I think it was a Connecticut Valley.
Yeah. Connecticut Valley. It was Devil Bliss or Devil Hop.
Devil's Hop Yard.
Devil's
I think
Hop
it's
Yard.
Devil's
Yes,
Hop
exactly.
Yard.
Was Devil's Hop Yard. That was a holy fucking shit beer because you read it and you're like, oh, it's named the Devil. You know what I mean? It's a 9%, or it was really up there,
Yeah.
and it was smooth and it was
Yeah.
delicious.
That was scary. about
This
it.
is good. Don't
is
get me
good.
wrong. I gave it a 3. I think it's good.
I'm gonna put
It's
all my
just-
reviews in later.
I didn't know.
Sorry.
For
I only
HFS, I
tasted
thought it would be like
More in your
more of
face.
a punch in the mouth.
Yeah, it's good though.
It's good.
I can drink this all day. This is an
Yeah.
all day
Yeah.
beer.
That's how I judge an IPA. If I'm going to have 3 or 4 of them, it's really good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And even the real hoppy ones, you're always tasting your beer.
Yeah.
That's what I like about craft beer. I can drink Miller Lite like I drink water
Yeah.
because of that. But there's something I've learned, and my taste buds, I'm 63 years old, or will be in like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
My taste buds are shot. I get the aftertaste, but the nuances I don't pick up anymore.
Okay.
So it's either I like it and I can drink some of them,
Yeah.
or
Now some of these beers
Yeah.
you're not best judge of these because we're already 6 beers in. we
Yeah.
just did a show.
I'm
we
fine.
just did a show before this, but I'm just saying our palate. I mean, I had some ring bologna and cheese in between the episodes, but we just did 6 beers, so some of the
I
palate.
just had a milkshake, so it could get real interesting. But
yeah, you're in real big trouble. Yeah,
Nice.
You know,
I-
talking about IPAs, when I first started, and I didn't have my first craft beer until I went to Tap up in Hazleton, and I did research on IPAs, Indian Pale,
yes, the history. Yeah, we talked about the history a little bit.
and that all came about because of the British Empire at that time was all over the world.
Yep.
And their armed forces, their army, got a beer ration. They were guaranteed a beer ration every month.
Mhm.
Well, the troops that were in India, by the time the beer got there from England,
It was no
skunk.
good.
It's skunk.
Yep.
And the breweries in England figured out you put more hops in, it travels better.
Yep.
Taste, we ain't worried about that, just so the suckers get drunk once a month on their beer ration.
Yep.
And that's how Indian Pale Ale came about,
Mhm.
which I thought I'm like one of these,
So what
Weird-
we do
weird people,
sometimes
like-
is we'll
like
get some
history.
beers. I don't know if this is something you've tried because we'll take a beer like some IPAs or some sours or even stouts, and we'll have it like we'll try to get 2 or 3, and we'll get one and we'll try it immediately, as fresh as possible. Then we'll take one and we'll age it a month or 2 months, and then we'll take another one and we'll try to age it. We'll stretch it, and it's insane how much different a beer will taste over time.
I haven't done that with any IPAs. I've done that with sours and stuff, or stouts.
Mhm.
And actually, that Wild Elf that I brought for you, that's actually from, I want to say September 2017. That's been
Oh,
in the
wow.
cellar for
Nice.
close to 2 years now. That should be really aged and open up. It should
Yeah,
be nice.
we'll definitely do that very soon. Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, we'll try them. IPA, like I said, IPA is something like if it's a flavor IPA, we'll do it. If they're just regular, we just drink them. But we've had some sours that were aged and some and like peanut butter beers. It seems like the longer they sit, that peanut butter really comes out. You know,
Let me ask you now, when you age a beer,
either keep it to room
Keep it
temperature
room
or you keep it
okay.
or you keep it cold.
because I like those beers you saw by my back door.
Mhm.
They're over a year old.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff that's in the drawer that I gave you, it's been in there all the time.
yeah,
Those things, some of those are probably 2 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
you- Yeah, usually like you can do a cellaring, which is like just like a little bit cooler, maybe
Yeah.
like at the 45-degree range, and that usually changes the beer up. Or you can put it in the refrigerator, leave it go.
Yeah,
Most
like
of the
you said,
time I do
Mhm.
that.
stuff in my kitchen, it goes with the temperature
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
a lot of times what we tell people too is when you get a craft beer,
I always
let it breathe.
I always all beers.
Another thing, yeah, all beers, but definitely if you're going to pay the extra money for the craft,
Mhm.
don't drink it straight out of the can or bottle. Pour it into a glass. I'm not saying drink it piss warm, but that's why
Yeah.
we say when we do this show, we
Think about
10 minutes before we
like
go
that.
live, we pull them out and don't
Think
let them
about
get
that.
super chilled because that
I can't hear you over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
that flavor will pull out more.
Yeah.
You definitely want to pour it into like a frosted glass. 'cause
Yes.
That's number one, putting a little more water into it. which you don't want, and it's also dropping the temperature.
Yeah. If anyone offers you a frosted glass at a bar and it's for your beer, don't take it. You're just watering your beer down.
Yeah. And yeah, like I was saying to you, like when you feel that how cold that can was, that's kind of like where you want them, and then progressively when it goes like 5-10 minutes, and it'll be good.
Oh, I'm not rinsing. I'm good. All right, so that's the first one down. What do we think of it?
Not bad.
275
I like
for me.
it.
275.
Yeah.
Are you like the Simon Cowell of us here? You're picky, aren't you?
I can be.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I actually, for a long time, I didn't check in any stouts for a long time because I didn't want to be someone to be like, your stout sucks, just because my tongue is broke and every dark beer just tastes like old coffee. You can tell me it's chocolate and we don't put roast in it, and that it's all gonna taste like coffee to me. Every one. So I just can't get rid of it. But I'll now I've learned that you can just check it in and you don't have to give it a score, and it won't hurt the brewery, because I don't want to hurt someone's brewery by giving them a 1 just because I didn't like the flavor profile. Like if I didn't like it and I'm just gonna put it a 1, like I'm not gonna be a dick about it. You know what I mean? Like so I don't. There's a lot of stuff I don't check in. So I'm nervous about this one.
There's 2 or 3 beers on the table that I literally bought and I finished them. I was like, shit, I need to bring some of them home. And I bought them again and I did it again. This is one of them. Like I bought a 4-pack and I was like, oh, it's coconut. Like
so the art now I buy cans and beers like I'm a 3-year-old, like I'm a 4-year-old for back to school shopping. Like, oh, what do you want to buy? I'm like, I'm gonna buy the Spider-Man shirt. I'm gonna like, you want a nice polo? No, I want the Batman shirt. Like, so when I look at beers, if they have appealing artwork on the can, it sways me. It will definitely sway me. This can is it's superimposed old school Irish boxers with the tank tops, with hula skirts, coconut broth, and it looks like robot heads from Futurama.
The artwork's great and the names too.
Yes.
Like we just got one in from Evil Genius called New Phone Who Dis. Like that's
awesome. I love Evil
I'll buy
Genius.
that all day.
Yeah. There's one on there that I really, really want, but I don't want to buy a 6-pack of it because I know I won't like it because it's a darker beer, but it's an Always Sunny. It's
Ocular Pat-Down.
Ocular Pat-Down. I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like one of my favorite shows. And the Odd Sides Brewery they make Always Sunny beers all the time.
Cat in the Wall,
Thundergun Express,
yep.
and this now Ocular Pat-Down, which is hilarious. So, all right.
I like coconut.
Yeah, it's definitely coconut.
Yeah, beers like that you're either gonna love or hate.
So
in the sense,
yeah. So Brewfest was a cool experience for me because during Brewfest, the people who won the championship this year, Tattered Flag, in my opinion, hands down, had the best beer. That blueberry beer they made was absolutely delicious and 1,000% deserved to win. It's going to be canned soon, so if because if you didn't try it, definitely get it. It's unbelievable. But the reason I went with Wolf is because Wolf literally gave me a flavor profile that I didn't think I was going to like. It was a sour and it was key lime pie. Nothing about that says I'm going to enjoy it. And I tasted it and it was unbelievable. I was like, they got my vote because they presented something to me that I didn't think I was going to like, and I enjoyed it.
I didn't get a chance to taste that one.
Yeah.
I probably would have liked it because I like key lime pie.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. It was that Brewfest this year was a great experience, and it was got to try a lot of it. But here it was. So, what do you think so far? Your coconut people over here. What do you think?
Well, it reminded me of when I was a kid, and I would have a box of chocolates from home and Russell Stover, Gertrude Hoff, whatever, caramel one, raspberry. Then you bite into the coconut one. You're like, oh,
and you spit it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Terrible experience. I won't rate this because like you said.
Yeah. Now, you know what happens to me when I drink coconut beers and I put it in my mouth? To me, I feel like I'm drinking suntan lotion. Like that coconut suntan lotion.
Yep.
So here we go. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, that's coconut. That's an IPA. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're a coconut fan, they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
I'll tell you what. I'm not a coconut fan, but it's not overpoweringly.
No,
for me.
It's
I can
nice,
taste it.
It's a nice mix of coconut and hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad.
Expected it to be sweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expected it to be. I'm thinking almond joy. Okay, I
Yes.
expected it to be sweeter.
Yeah.
So in that sense, to me, it was a letdown, but it's not a bad. Like I could drink. This is a full glass. I could drink it without like.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
This would be a flight for me, and say I had the experience and call it a day.
I can have a pint of it. I could have a glass of it, but I couldn't have too many.
Oh, I'm breaking the rule. I'm drinking out of it.
Yeah, at first I thought the other IPA mixed with it, but it's not. It's just an IPA, but it's.
That's here, right here, right there. It is. If you're watching and you have any comments you want to leave in the chat, please do. We have a live chat. You may need to be registered to YouTube to do so. If you're not registered, go ahead and give it a register, and then while you're there, you can actually subscribe and help us out as well. All right, so far as being in San Diego, what is your favorite brewery?
It would probably be Offshoot or Pizza Port.
Okay.
Offshoot's what we have next. This is a very good beer, and then so Pizza Port, they do a lot of stuff in different places.
And they sell a lot of pizza, I hope, right?
Yeah.
So they're San Diego's version of our Pizza Boy.
Do they do any stouts?
They do. They have a stout that's in house. It's called
A lot of people don't can stouts.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Busted his balls.
They have a stout that's in their shop in Oceanside, and it's called something Racer, but it's literally the wrapping on the can is the old school Mario 64 Mario Kart.
Oh, you can get that for me. I like that gimmicky stuff. Ben had a beer he got that's literally it's wrapped as if it was a Super Punch Out game, and it's actually designs on his shirt where he's punching and the hops are flying out. Like it's awesome. Then he brought me a can to keep for upstairs. It's what was it called? The Hop Championship.
No, Triple Power Bomb.
That's it. So it's a
Triple
green
Power Bomb
can
by Brick City
with a champion, like a wrestling title belt or championship. You're not allowed to call them belts.
Yeah,
They get
whatever
upset
they're
when
calling.
yeah,
them
but
nowadays.
the belt has like a hop on it. It's a full can, but I love all that kind of stuff.
That's a really juicy.
There's some cans that do you keep cans? Like, do you have like certain artwork cans?
I don't know.
No, yeah, I'm a pro. I have an issue.
I
tell
when Yingling came out with the Quasqui cans from Monte City, I bought a 6-pack and like put it on my dresser. And apparently, when the cans keep touching each other for an extended period of time, like years, they get holes in it, and then the beer slowly comes out. And it's like I wonder why the beer smells or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
I never touched them, and like they were half empty, and like
You should have dumped them and just kept the can empty.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't. I just figured, hey, yeah,
Yeah. So are the cans completely destroyed?
yeah. They ended up getting all funky. Yeah.
Here's a funny can keep story. So my dad in his room on South Street had the Coke Pepsi, or it was a Coke cans, and he had collected every single NFL team.
Okay.
And every NFL team's logo was on the can, and he kept them in his room. And we had a really, really hot summer, and he didn't put the air conditioner or fan in his room right away. And he came home, and all 32 teams exploded in the room. They were everywhere.
Wow.
I remember I used to go in there and like arrange them by division. Like, yeah, I couldn't tell you my ABCs, but I could put like each team by their division and stuff. They were really cool. And then I remember I was so proud of the can. Like, I liked his can collection. I don't know why, because it was like I used to get the quarter machine football helmets, and then I put the helmet with the can. Yeah.
An old timer story.
Yeah, needless to say, I don't collect cans anymore.
Well, just don't keep them full.
Coca-Cola had a deal. If you saved bottle caps, and it might have been every NFL team, I don't remember exactly, but they had a paper you glued the caps onto. If you got the whole thing, you turned it into the Coca-Cola bottling, whatever it is, like on the way to Reading.
Yeah.
And you got a football, a leather, like midget size. Yeah.
Oh.
And naturally they had that one cap that they put out 7 every month.
Yeah.
Period. And if you died to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you remember what team it was?
I don't remember. All I remember is that Bobby Krause got a football. We were playing street football
With a
where
super rare ball.
Yeah, leather with the Victoria where the Victoria Theater was.
Yep.
Well, back then, the first time Market Street collapsed with the shit creek under it, when it was a shit creek, there's a hole, and they had the street blocked off for 2 blocks. So that's a football field for us.
Yeah.
And Tommy Ward kicked the football. It bounced once and went right under the plywood, down into the shit creek. We run home. We get flashlights. We are going to go down and look for it. And luckily, the cops saw us doing that and forbade us from spelunking in a shit creek underground for a football. Never did get the football either.
Yeah.
He was in tears. I never got the magic cap to get mine. I had almost all of it.
We used to go to Sunoco all the time because I was notorious in Monte City for losing air in my bike tires. And then I found out years later somebody was letting the air out of my bike tires. I don't know who admitted to that. Was it you or Mom? Not me. I think it was Mom. She said she felt uncomfortable with me driving my bike as much as I did, so she would let the air out of the tires. That fucking pissed me off. I literally found that like a month or two ago. She confessed to that. But I'm always going to Sunoco and getting free air of the tires, and he'd be like, "Oh, while you're here, what you guys doing? We're gonna play football." And he'd be like, "Oh," he'd go in the thing and he'd pull out like the Sunoco football, the black. I still wish I had mine because it was like the best football. I just remember as a kid, like I had the old school black Sunoco football. Yeah, I used to go all the time. He'd give us basketballs, footballs. That was like a treat for us as a kid. All right, we're up to your offshoot beer. This is a hazy double IPA. It's like ASMR.
No.
It's a very, very good smell. I might have to come back around and put a little more in there.
It's just a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
This is very tropical. Like it's like, to me, it tastes like peach mango.
What is the percentage on that?
Ooh. I don't know. 8.6.
8.6. Wow.
Now we're talking.
That's up there. And that's only, let's say there's a double or a single?
It's a single.
An 8.6 single. Wow.
What the hell's wrong with them?
So far,
I can go mango.
Yeah.
I can go mango.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's because I still have the taste of coconut in my mouth. I'm still getting a little bit of a, not like a coconut, but it has like, it definitely has like a beach vibe, like these East Coast beers taste like you're at a beach in California drinking a beer. Like if that makes any sense. Like they all taste like, if I can picture or like stereotype what an East Coast beer would taste like, so far these three are it.
It's good. To me, I could tell if I drink 2 of these, I'll get like heartburn city, but it's good.
Yeah.
Their flavor profile includes creamy. I could agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is really good on it.
Yeah.
I think if it was a little cold for me, if
Colder.
this was a little colder,
Yeah.
it would.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For an IPA though, this is
That's good.
Yeah.
It's not that
This is
hoppy.
really good.
Oh, it's a double.
It is a double. I was gonna say
Okay.
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I was gonna say 8.6 for a single. That's
Yeah, that was wacky.
Whew.
That was really wacky.
They went for it.
Hazy Dipa is brewed with a simple malt bill and hopped heavily with fruit-forward Mosaic, Cashmere, and Eldorado, laced with delicate and aromatic tropical notes along with a bright berry medley and a crisp mouthfeel. It's like diving into the Pacific on a 90-degree day. Seriously, nothing beats the heat like a retreat. That's the description.
Wow, they're like an old school, like nothing beats the heat like a retreat. There you go. Look at, get it. All right.
Anybody else want the rest of it?
I'll take it.
There you go.
Now, what was you kind of already alluded to it with the Humboldt Tap was your first experience to an IP to craft beer. Do you remember? I mean, realistically, everyone's experience to craft beer in this room is Yingling beer.
Yeah, really.
I had Kyers. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had Kyers.
Very true.
I had Kyers. So
Very,
yeah.
very true. Which is still even cool.
Illegally, but I had Kyers. Yeah.
Which is really cool to say that you've had that beer. But yeah, for the most part, we are in the godfather of craft beer location. We're in the, if you're a craft beer person, Yeah.
Bavarian, Shendo, and yeah,
Columbia.
in Colombia.
Yeah, this area was a craft beer place
Every
everywhere.
town had their
Who
own
made,
brewery.
who made Bavarian beer years ago?
Trying to think.
Because that's what I grew up on. Kyers was gone.
Kyers was gone. Yeah.
Kyers was gone when I found my liking for alt beer.
Yeah.
And it was Bavarian.
I can tell you how much the courts were at the Riverside.
$3 for a buck.
Yeah, well,
$3 for a buck at
three for
Millie's.
$5 or something like that. Yeah,
No,
that's
Three
right.
quarts for $5.
Yeah.
$3 for $1.
Yeah. And my father was sitting at the bar, and I'd go inside the back room, and I could hear him talking, and I would be getting served beer and go out. There'd be a corner door to go into the bar, and then a back door actually on my to go into the side room,
Mm-hmm.
and they come around, and I could hear my dad in there bullshitting, and I'm getting beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Millie's,
never knew.
Millie's Candy Store.
Yeah.
Used to
She
sell.
sold illegal beer.
She used to sell quarts out of her candy store.
Yeah.
And we used to go down.
She'd buy cases of quarts, and then
She'd buy cases of like Stegmaier.
Yeah.
Or Bavarian.
Yeah.
And she'd sell them to you for $3 for a buck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And we go in.
That's fucking awesome.
We go in. Now we go in, and my mom used to smoke Kent 100s.
Yep.
And these are the days where you can send a kid to the store and say, "Go get me a pack of smokes and a
cigarettes.
beer."
Yeah.
Well, not the beer, but you can go get me a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
So here I am, 14 years old.
But I'm sure if they knew your mom and my mom said, "Grab me a beer and a smoke, and I'll take it to her,"
Yeah.
they'd probably sell it to you.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we used to do. We'd go down and
we don't condone any of this. Do not underage drink. Yeah.
We go down and I'd say my mom wants a pack of cigarettes,
I gotta rinse my glass.
Kent 100s, and 3 quarts of Bavarian. And Millie would always say, "Tony, your mom doesn't drink." I'm like, "Well, no, she doesn't, but she has friends coming over who do. So she wants to get some beer." Okay, but
No.
don't. And
now
then
by
she
this
look
time,
at me.
and now by this time is
then she
your
look
dad
at
not
me.
there?
Huh?
Is your dad not at the?
No, they
No,
were separated.
Yeah. So you couldn't even like blame it on him.
No, I couldn't
Oh,
even blame it
fuck.
on him. So she'd look at me, and she'd walk into the back, and you can hear her opening the refrigerator in the back and the clinking of the quart bottles, and she'd come out and she'd hand to me, and she'd say, "That's like, $3.50 or whatever." I forget what the hell a pack of cigarettes was at the time, but the quarts were $3 for a buck. And she'd say, "Now don't tell anybody you got your beer here." Okay, you think I'm going to ruin a good thing?
Yeah.
Because Marchik's beer distributor in the 1100s on Pine Street, and the garage was on the back. The house was on Pine Street.
Yeah.
Walk in there, getting a quarter to take it up the flats, up on 8th Street Road, the mountain. No problem. We had a pay app. And then like back in the good old days, you just grab the quarter, throw it on up the mountain. I couldn't get a quarter from here to your backyard on a good day right now.
Yeah.
And the one time I went in there, and Mrs. Kazmarchik said, "I wanted to get a case of beer to go to the drive-in." And she said, "I can't sell it." "Why not?" She said, "Well, the LCB is watching us. Like I can sell it to you. You can't take it to your car. They're watching us." A now retired state cop, who shall remain nameless, came walking in, and I said, could you carry the beer to my car?" And he said, "Look at me, I don't see your fucking legs broke." And I explained the situation to him. And he said, "Okay." And he did. Yeah, there was many places in Monterey City that you had money in your hand, you got beer.
It would be really interesting if the Kaiser's recipe was still a thing, or if, I'm sure someone has to have it.
Sure.
No idea.
I'm trying to think. Yours was bought by.
I forget who's
Fort
making
Wayne?
it, but I heard somebody is making a version of Kyer's beer.
Okay.
Last I heard, there's the beer distributor out in Hazleton. If you're heading out the Beltway, there's that one right off of. I can't think of. I'll think of the name of it.
Oh,
No
yeah,
way.
yeah. The one,
No way.
yeah, by Hazeltonites.
Yes.
Yes, the Italians.
Yeah, they last I heard were carrying some version of Kyre's beer out of there, but I can't for the life of me think of the name of it.
That would be really cool to like if some of these old local craft beers, if their recipe got in the right hands
I think
and it got made again.
Stegmaier ended up with it. I could be wrong. Who? I think Stegmaier ended up with it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
that should be a history project for someone to make sure that gets remade. That'd be awesome.
yeah, but you're not going to get the same yeast.
Yeah.
Because they used the same. Yeah, Kyre's. They had their own dam. That was Kyre's dam.
Yeah.
That actually, if you see the cement, whatever, up by St. Casimir's Church on Catawissa Street, that's where that came down, and then went under the street to Kyre's.
They're still piping up in the
Yeah.
They're still piping. That you can see the piping of the one of the valves or the pumps or something, and you can see they used to pipe it down to town.
Wow.
Where that is, it's halfway up the Potsy. You can't see the road now, but if you look close, you can see where the growth isn't as good. If you walked up there so far, there was a metal shed or whatever. Opened the door and there was a valve in there, and it was like a blow-off valve. And if you turn the handle, water shot out that was ice cold. It was actually the pipe coming down from the dam, and like an indoor shower. We'd go up there and light a fire, roast Mickeys, and that'd be like our fire hydrant. And get soaking wet and then close the valve. And that was like, we were probably trespassing and whatever the hell else. But
we were definitely trespassing.
Yeah. So going back to our original discussion here, like now going back to our area had an immense amount of craft breweries. Kaiser's would have been the oldest brewery in America, I think, by standards, but then Yuengling stood the test of time. So our area, Yuengling is the godfather of craft beers. So besides saying Yuengling is your introduction, or you guys had a lot more, what was your first your craft beer that you said, this is my new thing, I'm going to start looking at these and not drinking domestics anymore?
And I never kept up with it, but I went to tap, and I don't remember half of what I drank because I didn't write them down in my memory. But they had a stout.
Did you like it immediately?
I didn't wrap my head around IPAs.
My first three beers I hated.
I liked the flavor. It was a whole new experience flavor wise. To me, there isn't much difference between Miller Lite, Bud Light, or whatever. After the fifth beer, they're all the same.
Exactly.
With the craft beers, you taste the different flavor, and the flavor keeps coming with each sip. That's what I like.
Yeah.
And then when you get the ones with the jalapeno and you don't taste it right away, and then you get the aftertaste in the back of your throat, it's like, son of a bitch. That's like,
or you get
awesome.
You get some beers that smell like it tastes like you're drinking a structure fire.
Yeah, I'm not real keen on smoked beers. I really am not. But
definitely not mine either.
I think my first real jump into craft beers was when we went to the beer fest up at Scranton.
Yeah, that was my first beer fest.
That was really my first.
I had no clue how any of this was going. Like, I'm not standing.
I mean, I had a couple of
your mind, but
tasted a couple here and there, nothing major, and then he was talking about the brew fest up at Montage, and
the Renaissance Fair Brew Fest is awesome.
He said, I'll get you a ticket for your birthday because it was on my birthday, and we had our DD take us up, and we spent the day there drinking, and that was really my first jump into craft beer. And I had
that was that anthracite something or other with a licorice.
I think it's hilarious right now that we're both wearing. I just realized we're both wearing Hophead shirts.
Both have Hophead shirts.
Yeah, we both got Hophead shirts. Very nice guys, by the way. Hopheads. If you're looking for cool beer merchandise, Hopheads is awesome. I actually was gonna wear the other Hot Pod shirt, but I didn't know you were gonna be a billboard as well. But I have a really cool Punisher. They took the Punisher logo and turned it into a hop. Really, really cool shirt. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, we had we had at work. That's where I had my first chocolate peanut butter
Was it Sweet Baby Jesus?
No, it was Breaker Brewing Company out of Wilkes-Barre.
That's the name of the
Ah.
brewery. Yes.
And I'll tell you what, they gave Sweet Baby Jesus a run for their money.
Fun fact.
I mean, sweet.
I don't like Sweet Baby Jesus.
It's a little too sweet.
And they changed the name.
Did they?
Yes, they got a lot of feedback about the Jesus part and changed it to Sweet Baby Java.
Yeah.
It's no longer Sweet Baby Jesus.
I would have dug my heels. in.
Wilkes-Barre Brewing
Yeah.
Company.
I agree. Yeah.
They
Breaker's
gave,
good.
They gave their chocolate peanut butter beer gives any a run for their money.
To this day, their Breakfast Club series was my favorite series of any beer. Like I remember I messed Ben. I can't make it. Could you please go up and get the princess? Can you get we have them on the table. That they were awesome.
Yeah, I had a guy, and he lived
They
in
have
the
good food,
local
too.
area too.
Yeah,
Make a reservation because it gets crowded.
yeah, it's delicious too. Going back to the Breaker, the blueberry we had from there.
Mhm.
This is a good. We've had two. This is our second blueberry beer today.
Mhm.
This is a lot lighter than the other
Yep.
one, but a lot of flavor in this one.
I'm not really picking that up, to be honest.
I think
with
it's
you.
a
Really?
lighter flavor.
I might be mixed overall.
Yeah, I think the blueberry's stronger in this one than the other one.
Exhale.
I would say.
I still got to give, as far as blueberry goes, I got to give Ellicottville Brewing Company out of New York.
Yeah.
That is by far, so far, the best blueberry beer I've had.
Blueberry waffle, the criminal by Breaking Brewer was amazing.
Sea Dog Blueberry Wheat. I used to live in Elizabethtown, and there's a place down there called TJ Rockwell's.
Mhm.
They always had Sea Dog Blueberry Wheat on tap, and on top of that, they would dump fresh blueberries into your pint glass.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's definitely
Ellicottville does that because I was up in New York a few years ago and didn't even realize I was 5 minutes from their brewery. So I went over, grabbed something to eat, and said to the girl, I said, "What do you recommend?" She goes, "What do you like?" I said, I don't know. She goes, "We have blueberry." I said, "Let me try the blueberry." And they served it in a pint with 3 blueberries in it. I'm there. That is really good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
So Brett, what was your first introduction to craft beer?
First time I got off of just drinking like Miller Lite or Lager was I bought a case of Sam Adams, the Winter Variety Pack.
Mhm.
And this was going back when they had 6 different ones. The Black Lager, Old Fezziwig, Holiday Porter. The Cranberry Lambic was just phenomenal. That was the first beer that I was like, oh my God, you can do stuff like this.
Mhm.
And the last one was just the Winter Lager, which also that was one of the ones that I would always look for when I'd be out somewhere. And as soon as late November hit and that started dropping, I was in heaven.
Yeah.
That's probably my very first sampling of craft beer besides Yingling would be Sam Adams.
Yeah. My first craft experience was with Ashley. We went with Ashley Fogle. We will formerly Fogle. We went to Trip and Billy, and I had a beer, and it tasted like I was drinking, like if somebody went and picked flowers out of our yard, dandelions, and cut them up and soaked them in beer, and then you drank it. I hated it. I was like, this is disgusting. I can't believe people are drinking this. I think it was a Trogs, if I'm not mistaken. And then, fun fact,
You're not going to tell the story?
I mean,
You want me to tell the story?
we went to Trogs. Then we went to a hockey game at the Hershey Bears. I went to see Hershey Bears game, which, by the way, I love Hershey Bears games. It's so much fun. For Hershey, I will Hershey Bears over Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins all day long. Anyway,
We go to a Hershey Bears game.
Yeah,
A friend of mine that he was the president of the fire company I wrote their insurance policy for. I get a text message during the game. And
it's me, you, Austin, and Marcus.
yeah. And I get a text message during the game and it says, "Hey, turn around and look up." So I turn around and I look up and there's Dave and he's waving to me from one of the executive boxes. And I wave back to him and he waves us to come on up and he texts me, he says, "We're in suite number whatever." So Junior and I go up and
I said, "Why are we going up there?" He goes, "There's beer." I said, "I'm with you. Let's
yeah,
go."
Dave texts me and he says, "Come up."
They had to be 21 or older, I think.
Yeah, you had to be 21. He said, "Come up and
We're like,
have a beer
Austin
with
and
us."
Marcus, stay right here. We can see you from here. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
So we go up and my friend, introduces us around. And when they had food and they had beer
Take a fridge.
in a fridge. So I grab a Trogs
Blueberry.
the blueberry, which was good. He grabs a Trogs, which I don't know what it was.
I grabbed Yingling.
Or the Yingling. So we're looking over the edge and watching the hockey game. We're shooting the shit. And Dave introduces me to the suite right next door is open when you're in the seating area watching the hockey game. So he introduces us to the guy, and he's the vice president of Trogs. So Junior
At the time.
Junior comes late to the conversation.
Don't hear any of that.
And doesn't hear vice president of Trogs. And
I may already have a couple beers in me.
He had said, let me taste your beer.
No. The guy said to me, he said, "Oh, you're drinking a Yingling?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, hometown beer, man. I'm drinking just, I think it was just regular Yingling at the time. It wasn't like premium or anything." And he goes,
lager.
It was just lager. He goes, "Why don't you try your dad's beer?" And I
You
went,
see that, Ken?
"Okay." Yeah. And he hands me his blueberry, and I take a swig of it, and I go, "Oh, that's fucking gross." And I look at my dad's face, and he's like, "You fucking asshole." And he goes, "Well, hi, I'm such and such VIP for the VP of Trogs Beer." And I went, "It needs work." And I walked away. Hey. So to be very clear, now Trogs is one of my favorite breweries. I'm not gonna lie, like I love Trogs now, but my first two experiences of Trogs as a new craft beer drinker, didn't do it for me. It did not do it for me.
Well, even still, even love a particular brewery, they might come out with something that you just absolutely
it's
not to your taste.
I can drink Yingling, but I can't. Yingling Premium gives me a pound and a half.
I don't like the light versions of their beers.
Not that too. But speaking of that, years ago, Port Carbon Fire Company used to get a New Jersey band called the Chatter Band. They came from the same areas as Bruce Springsteen, and they were a big draw. And they would sell tickets, and 200 people, whatever, and beer was included. Yingling or Yingling Light. I said, "Oh, Pottsville Shitwater with or without toilet paper." Dick Yingling was standing behind me.
Oh yeah.
So
if you're listening to Yingling, that's not how I feel at all. I'm a big fan.
I felt the same way you did.
Yeah. You're like foot in mouth. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Yingling.
I'm going to be honest. All of Brewfest, I drank like. I wish I would have been able to experience more, but we were doing a podcast, and I was very gracious and fortunate enough to be staged right next to Yingling. And the guy who was running their stand was very, very kind, and he just kept handing Chetties over. And I drink Chesterfield all day long. I love Chesterfield.
I drink Yingling Lager to Chesterfield, and I just don't like regular Yingling.
The regular Yingling, I'm not a fan of.
Like the regular lager.
I can drink the lager. No, the premium. I'm not a fan of the premium. But their black and tan is my favorite beer. I mean, their black and tan is absolutely fantastic.
I love black and tan, but I have a hard time drinking it now that I've been spoiled with the real black and tan. The real black and tan is made with Chesterfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you go to the brewery, they will pour you the actual Chesterfield.
What they wanted to do, but then they.
Back when
I think it was a hard time bottling. It was a hard bottling process because of the content. Yeah.
Back when I joined the Humane
3 years ago, and it was like
every something to do with cleaning the vats or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
they only come around Christmas.
Yeah, they did Bach and they did wheat for a little bit.
I think they were in the Bach about 10 years ago and stopped about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This is back in the and the fire company buy like 2-3 cases of it, and how they served it was, and at that time they had Yingling on tap. You'd get a half a glass of Yingling and pour. So they were making black and tan the old-fashioned way, pouring one out of a bottle into and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And their big thing was a lot of iron in this beer. It's good for your blood. It's like, okay, I'm drinking healthy beer. I love this.
It's good for you. We actually had a black and tan in at Guinness's brewery. So Guinness will do half Guinness, half blonde.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting, which is really good beer.
And if poured correctly, it separates.
Yes.
Stays separated.
Yes.
Poured correctly.
Yep.
It's freaking awesome.
That was if you haven't done the Guinness brewery in Baltimore yet,
It's It's actually their second floor. You go in on the second floor.
Mhm.
Is the gift shop. And
Beautiful
the bar.
building.
Yeah, beautiful. It's the gift shop and the bar, and they have bar food there, French fries and crab.
It's
fries
like they took really, really talented breweries, like
Mhm.
brewers, and said, "Hey, we're going to give you Guinness money and Guinness funding. None of your stuff will probably ever get bottled, but just make fun stuff for the brewery." And they'll do like a Guinness Black IPA, and it tastes exactly like a Guinness, but instead of the heaviness to it, it has the IPA hoppiness.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever drank a snake bite? Now, not the local shot that's Yukon Jack and Lime, but actually cider with Guinness floated on top of it.
No,
that is phenomenal. That's one of my favorite things. I actually learned about that when I was down at Epcot Center. They had all these different like beers around the world you can drink from different places, and the English style one, my buddy Dave took us there, and I had that for the first time. It was phenomenal. But I live in Tamaqua, so I got the Hang Loose where I typically go. Taught all the bartenders there how to make it. So now if you want a snake bite, stop in there, tell them I sent you. We'll enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now,
and it's apple cider.
Down there, I get Angry Orchard. That's what they have. But
okay.
Typically, it's any cider. If you want a sweet one, Angry's good. If you want a little drier, like Strongbow would be good. Or
Reds would probably work too.
No. See, Reds is an ale with added apple flavoring.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
It's not an actual cider.
Yeah. Right.
Woodchuck would be good.
Yeah, Woodchuck. Yeah. Now, speaking of Tamaqua, they actually kind of snuck on the scene, and they have 2 breweries in town as well now.
Yep. I've been to Stoker's and Revere. They both have some great offerings. Just had their Huckleberry Wit at Stoker's lately, and that was absolutely banging. I would highly recommend.
Are they going to start
the brew houses for the time being? I haven't really talked to any of the owners for a while. I know me and Jimmy were down there at Revere. They opened on Thanksgiving Eve, and we stopped in there. We were talking to owners for a little while, and he was, pimping up his printing business, trying to get some business there.
Yeah.
So we ended up talking to the owner for a little bit, and nothing in the works that I'm aware of as far as canning.
Okay.
Where's Revere at?
Do you know where Sisters is? The Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
If you're heading towards Coaldale, it's same building, just the other end.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get to both of them. I never been.
The other one's right across from the firehouse, just up from the fireplace.
Across from American Hose. Yeah.
Do they have food, or is it just a bar?
Just a bar,
okay.
As far as I know. Usually we stop in there late at night and not really ordering food.
Okay.
So
that might be a little mini road trip.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm off the next 2-3 days, so.
No, not the next 2-3 days. I gotta work.
I'm just putting that out there.
You don't have to work.
I'm off the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Just Kenzie dropped us
throwing
off.
those dates right out there.
Go to Walmart for a little bit.
And the 22nd is a Saturday, and it's actually my birthday. So just a hint.
All right, because it's your birthday, Uncle Butch, and I just remembered.
Well, if you guys are stopping down, let me know. It's like a 30-second drive for me.
Awesome, will do.
Right.
I'm gonna rinse my glass out and get ready for this peach beer. So peach flavored stuff is my absolute favorite. Anything peach, I will grab it. 100%, I will grab it. So on top of peach being my favorite breweries, this is a good segue. You're gonna like this. One of my favorite Uncle Butch stories is a time that you exited a moving vehicle.
20 miles an hour.
How the hell did that segue into that? There was no peach involved in it.
I'm saying my favorite peach, my favorite brewer is peach, and my favorite story of Uncle Butch. As a child, I said, Uncle Butch, I was told you jumped from a car, and you strongly told me I did not jump. I exited.
That's right.
At 40 miles an hour.
I did. I did not jump.
So you want to take us through that story?
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm so happy this is recorded right
now. There's a background to this.
And at Rose, we love you.
Back in
that's a lot of fun.
Back in 1975, the Humane Fire Company bought a new fire truck. 75 Mac CF 74 pumper, and we took it to the state fire convention in St. Clair, the county fire convention in St. Clair at the time, and it didn't win. And when was it? 86, 87? No, it had to be 90 because I did.
I believe I was born.
Yeah, 90. It was 90, 91.
You were definitely born.
It was 90 or 91. Same fire truck. Took it to a miners' county convention.
You were with You were
And-
with
I was with her.
at the time.
Yes, it was 90 or 91 because I was with her since 1991.
Yeah.
And it was probably 1991, summer of or 92. And we won first place, and they didn't have the ability to refill the air bottles. So the way we fought fire, you would go into a fog nozzle, and you would turn the nozzle on fog and breathe off the little bit of air that was coming out of the fog nozzle. You'd get in so far and then get smoke inhalation, come back out, throw up, have a cigarette, and they pulled the bottle of whiskey off the fire truck. You drank a shot of whiskey and went back in and did it again. And that's how we fought fires.
This is another story we do not recommend volunteer firefighters
But-
doing today.
This is not a normal practice of volunteer firefighters anymore.
Well,
Disclaimer:
Kids, don't try this at home.
don't try this
Yes.
at home.
It ended up
Before that, firefighters would grow a mustache
and wet it and wrap it
and stick it in their mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it ended up they found a bottle of Southern Comfort whiskey that was on the old 34 Mack fire truck, and it was behind the bar after the county convention in Milledgeville, which I had already partaken of numerous malted beverages. And my wife stopped counting the shots I had of the Southern Comfort that had to be 25-year-old aged at that point in time at 11 or 12. I don't recall which, but I was
Tastes like vinegar at the time.
I was
Oh,
There's one thing Blackwells are good at, it's drinking. We got
thank you. But anyway, my brother was invited to take me home because I was inebriated, believe it or not.
invited.
And
You live in Shando at the time.
lived in Shendo at the time, and my then wife Rose was in the front seat of my brother's station wagon, and I was in the back seat, belted in behind the driver. And I said to my now wife, then girlfriend, Rose, I love you. And she didn't answer me, so I took that as she was mad at me, and I thought my sense of direction was a little off at the time. I thought I was at the end of Monty City by Pick-a-Pack, so I decided to leave. And
Where were you?
well, I'm getting
Cross
it,
it.
and
We're
I
just hang on. We're just before the bridge at Cole's Patch.
and I thought we were down around. Last thing I remembered was Pick-a-Pack. I said, screw it, I'm going to leave and go get something to drink. And I unhooked the seatbelt and opened the back door, and I left. I did not jump. I just stepped out. Unfortunately, the vehicle was moving at about 40 miles an hour at the time. And I landed on my left ankle and then my left elbow. Left elbow ended up bleeding fairly well, and the left ankle to this day now has arthritis in it because of that jump. We exiting the
Big jump.
And when the Monty City Police got there, they had a report of a dead deer in the middle of Route 54. I was the dead deer. The Monty City policewoman at the time, I forget her name, but all I kept telling her was, there's nothing wrong with me. And apparently the blood from my elbow was behind my head, so they were going to cut my leg off.
I found later that I've gotten a great thing of that with that.
So then they take me.
Did you get it where you realized that Butch is no longer in the car?
No, I heard it immediately because the funny thing about it, I hear this thump and then the door closing. I hear the influx of air, like someone opened a window.
So you thought he maybe puked, opened the door, puked.
And then I heard the door shut. And I'm thinking, what the fuck was that? So I stopped and I slammed the brakes on as Rose was turning around, and all I heard. So I stopped and I pulled the Yui right in the middle of the road, and I come back and I remember I had stopped. I had 3 beers at the convention,
Thank God,
and then stopped drinking because I knew I had to drive. So I stopped drinking like 7 o'clock that night. Now it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So I pull up and I'm straddling the WO line with my car, and I had you guys don't remember, and if your viewers are any any age over 40, they'll probably remember Bill Quincy, MD, Jack Klugman.
Yeah.
And the blue light he had on his car. And
at some point then got a full blue bar, like a cop car at one point, didn't it?
No, that was the Quincy light.
Okay. I turned that on while you were driving one time.
Yeah.
And you got really
in
upset.
Virginia.
Yeah. You got really upset.
When
That's
they run
another-
that
in Virginia.
Yeah, the cop cars
Virginia.
run blue lights. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in the middle of the road, and Monty City Police come up, ambulance comes up, and
Who reported it?
I have no idea. Somebody was coming by, and when they said, "Is he okay?" I'm there. No, I don't think so. They said, "All right, I'll go into town and I'll call for help," because we didn't have cell. There was no.
It's pretty crazy that it was more efficient than
Yes, yes.
like they got there so quick.
They were. So it came in as a person hit by a. They thought I hit him. They thought I hit him because I can't remember the cop's name. She goes, "Who is he?" I said, "He's my brother." And she goes, "And you hit him?" I'm there. Well, not yet. But I for jumping out of my car. She goes, "Wait, he jumped out of your car?" I'm there. "What were you told?" She goes, "We were told he was hit by a car." I'm there. That probably would have saved everybody a lot of trouble, and that I'm about to be into.
Were you just at this point? Were you still disputing the "I didn't jump" story?
No.
Okay,
That came later. That came later.
I didn't jump.
He was disputing his love, his perceived non-love from his girlfriend at this point. So they load him in the ambulance, and of course I can't go anywhere. And it's not in Monty City, it's in the township. The township cops weren't working at the time, so I had to wait for the state police to get there. So the state gets there, and I don't know if I ever told him this or not. The state, he goes,
I didn't know how he knew my name. Go ahead, yeah.
he goes, who's the state? He says to me, "Who's the guy?" I said, "My brother." He said, "What's your brother's name?" I said, "Butch Blackwell." He said, "Okay, was he drinking tonight?" I'm there. "Oh yeah." He goes, "Were you drinking tonight?" And he goes, "Where were you?" I said, "We're at the county convention." And apparently there was a brawl at that convention, but none of the firefighters started it. None of the firefighters.
They ended it though.
No, they
No?
stay out of it. It was Minersville's finest versus Minersville's finest, and they had to call in all these police officers to break up the brawl, and none of the volunteer firefighters were involved.
Ooh, good for them.
But the rumor mill spreads, and the firefighters were fighting. So this statey comes up and he goes, "Oh, you were in Minersville tonight?" I'm there. "Well, yeah." And he goes, "And how much did you have to drink?" Real smart. I said, "I had 3 beers all day, and I stopped at 6:30, 7 o'clock." And he literally looked at his watch and he goes, "Well, your brother jumped out of your moving vehicle. I think you have enough problems for one night. You don't need any more." I'm there. "Nope, I don't." I said, and he goes, I said, "So can I go to the hospital?" And
They wanted to x-ray my head. And I said, "There's nothing wrong with my head."
where's the can for the peach?
And they
Peach monkey.
they kept insisting
I keep
that,
tagging you.
they
so
kept
you can
insisting
check 'em
that
in, too.
I get my head a full series of head x-rays. So basically I just sat up and said, "There's nothing wrong with my head." That finally convinced them that they didn't have to take x-rays. And then the state cop walked in and he said, Butch, what am I going to do with you?" And I'm amazed that this man knows my name. Like,
Your brother dimed you out.
yeah. So I said to him, I said, "Look," I said, "first off," I said, "I'm drunk. I'm not." Oh, he's like, the cop tells me he's going to give me a ticket for disorderly conduct. I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "I'm drunk. My brother had nothing to do with it. I exited the moving vehicle all by myself." State cop says, "Disorderly conduct is the cheapest fine I can give you." Okay, I'm fucking disorderly.
Fuck you, cop.
So I considered a win-win. I got disorderly conduct, and the insurance company didn't have to pay for a full set of head x-rays. So I think that worked out. And my wife ended up marrying me 10 years later, but took that long to get over it.
Now, what was the extent of your injuries?
Well, when I went, there was a abrasion on my elbow
Dislocated?
No,
The ankle.
The ankle wasn't broke.
No, dislocated.
No, it wasn't. No, all it was stretched tendons. When I actually went to Dr. Kane, who I went to school with, and after fact, and this man was a basketball player, he's twisted his ankle more than I can think about. He finagled my ankle, and he told me, he said, you would have been better off breaking it. And he said, when you're 60 years old, you're going to regret doing this. I'm telling you.
So
talk about the fucking truth.
Yeah,
it's like,
so
oh yeah.
Realistically, you probably have a very, very minute version of what I have. And instead of your ankle like tendon snapping or breaking, your ankle just kind of gave and then popped back in.
Yeah. Oh, it never popped. Oh, it never dislocated.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But your tendon stretched enough that it didn't cause.
Yeah, it didn't. My tendon stretched, and I know my knee tendon. When I was like in 9th grade, I was able to take my legs and put them up behind my neck.
100%.
And then
we had.
I did it the one time in gym class, and I couldn't get them back down. And the guy's name was Don Hiskin. Last name was Hiskin. He was the gym teacher, and he literally picked me up by my ankles like a little white Hindu guy. It's like, and carried me into the locker room and like untangled me. And that was the last time I tried that. But yeah.
Until that one time you tried to S your own D. No, I'm joking. All right. So what do we think? Thank you for the story. That's one of my favorites.
You brought it up.
Yeah. That's an Uncle Butch story, and that's one of many. But we won't get into all of them in this episode.
Yeah.
That'll definitely happen another time. But what did we think of Peach Monkey?
That was really good.
It's not bad.
It had a high carbonation. It was almost like a sparkling wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Nice
one was
finish
that?
on
The one we just had?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
it's
flavor
this one.
profile says bitter. I didn't find it bitter.
No.
No.
Not at all. Sour a little bit, but not bitter.
It aged well, because when I first bought them, I opened it. It was really, I couldn't taste the peach,
I can hardly taste it. Yeah.
and it was super, super, super bitter. And then that sat in the closet warm, and then as it got older, for I want to say about 2 months, it definitely sweetened up.
One of my favorite peach beers I've had so far was Flying Dog. No, it was Evil Genius.
Evil Genius.
Evil Genius had a peach beer I had at HMAC in Harrisburg.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very tasty. All right, so we're at Modern Times. Now, you've had Modern Times at the cake stand, right?
I have some in stock right now. I don't remember what particular flavor it is. Everything I get in, I do a little research, try to get stuff that's highly rated on Rate Beer or Beer Advocate, but that's one I haven't sampled at all, anything from them.
Okay, so this is their Fruitland.
Yeah, this is their
This
sour.
is a Goza. Yeah.
Excellent.
I feel like
I didn't have
had that at one point, Tony. Did the Greystone have that, or was that a little bit of a different?
No, that was the Nitro.
Oh, it was still the same brewing company, or was that?
I don't
Modern
remember.
Times has a nitro.
It might have been. The
Yeah,
Pink
because
Flamingo.
I saw that, and I'm like, that looks awfully familiar.
The Pink Flamingo.
Or something like that.
A lot of their cans had that look. The only other one that had a different look was Telesto, and that was the one that I posted. That was like
Times
super.
Fruitlands.
Like it had all like the black and white worms on
Yeah.
it.
Save
That's
some
gonna
for Ben.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't go heavy on the pour. Does anybody want a little bit extra?
Yeah, I went really light. I mean, go ahead. You finish. You have less than I do.
That's fine. I mean,
Go ahead, finish it off.
Okay.
All right. So this is their fruit blend here.
I've had their
I like
stout. You gave me a can of their stout, didn't you? That was really good.
So that's not that sour at all.
No, I don't think it's, and I can get the fruit. And
Yeah.
if I can taste it,
but it was
That's
very
not bad.
similar to like the color and all that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
I had a hard time with sours, and I'm slowly getting better with them.
Oh, he has been.
Yeah.
We've been training them.
To me, for sours,
I think you had this one too.
have the best aftertaste when it
Yes.
comes to beer. So you know how when you drink a beer or a lager or something, you get that bitter beer taste in the back. Even if it's not bitter, you get that beer taste in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
Sours, you don't get that. So say if it's like a peach sour, once the initial sour hits you and you get the and it puckers you a second, after that subsides, the aftertaste is phenomenal.
that's why I've noticed when I would frequent taps on a regular basis. Women love sour
Sours.
beers.
Yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Sours,
But you
my
can't go
opinion,
by their taste, but they also like Yukon Jack.
And Michelob
turpentine,
Ultra.
right? But yeah,
and Michelob
yeah,
Ultra.
that's water with a head. Yeah.
Yeah. But this
And
is.
I'm not saying I'm sorry to Michelob.
Yeah. I feel in the next. I think the next trend coming up is going to be sours
and lambics.
Yeah, I think sours is going to be like. I think sours is going to replace the IPA. I think more breweries are going to go to sour route.
They have been doing it for
Are you noticing
past 3 years.
IPAs are slowly dying off to other things?
No, you'll see a rise. Like I do see more sours being available for a little bit. I saw some stouts. I don't see anything dethroning IPAs for a good while.
No,
But they're not. Are they?
The sours are growing though.
Yeah, they're definitely growing. The one thing I really don't like right now with IPAs is everybody just going juicy hazy.
Yep.
And while I like
Yeah.
that style, it's so just redundant.
Sometimes you want that dry.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's where you get the Brett from, like the
Mhm.
Brett ales, which are really nice. They're
Mhm.
they're like a drier one because what I really liked about this, it had that little bit of the peach, and it like hit the peach peak, and then it went dry, and that was it. I'm like, yep, I really liked. I gave it a 3.75.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I was like,
This-
you know what?
It's
pretty good.
This brewery is actually like 5 minutes away from my base.
Oh
Really?
wow.
That's out in Vista.
Okay.
So I went out there because the other one I had was it's called Blackberry Cruiser.
Ooh.
And it's supposed to be an old school like 60s guy and girl on a bike dressed up like the old school I'm going out to the
Yeah.
dance. And their head like one head's a lemon, the other one's a blueberry or a raspberry. And they just do like a lot of like really, really, really old schooly art to them.
Mhm.
They're really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a good one. I even like the modern times with the Goza because
It's super simple.
I'm gonna go in a little bit of a rant here. I absolutely fucking hate passion fruit. Like, all right, there was this one because if you watch some of my live stuff, because I went to Hudson Valley yesterday, they had this one sour. It was like it had lime, papaya, something else, and something else. The fifth fruit, passion fruit, killed, purged every one of those flavors in the flavor profile. I was so pissed. The one said, I'm like, I'm so sorry, but very rarely do you get a brewery that does passion fruit right. I think they did this right, making it a Goza. It's not because the passion fruit is really tart. And it's just like, it just tarts everything.
Yeah.
But this is like sweet, salty, little bit of the tart, but it was not overpowering. I like this one too. So that's a little bit of rant and review.
Is there a style of beer that everyone prefers more than another? Like we'll just stick with the IPA, obviously. The IPA is broken up to like obviously you can do like how you said the hazy, the ale. Like there's just different variants. Is there something that sticks out to you more than another?
To me, honestly, I like more triples. That would just be me.
I mean, there's like some of those are like battery acid. It's like drinking straight booze. It's like boozy.
But still, though, I mean, some of them can get dangerously smooth. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're 11%, and you get them that are like, wow, what the hell am I drinking? You're 11%.
I had a
Holy
triple
shit.
at Guinness that literally tasted like I was drinking grain alcohol.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. It was crazy. You could have lit it on fire. It was crazy.
And I would feel a bit more content if there was more Brett ales. They have really scoped it out a little bit, try to test the water. Some breweries, very few and far that usually have them. But I mean, I'd like to see that style even well developed in as well.
A lot of their beers are breads.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them. Like I think they have one IPA and the other one is a sour. But the IPA and the sour they only put on tap. They don't can it. Everything they can is a bread ale.
There was this one Tired Hands beer that I had. It was like called like or something like that. It was their Brett IPA, and man, was that a freaking good IPA. Like it had all the characteristics, had that little bit of a juice, and then went dry at the end, and it was really nice. Had a really bitchin' label too. It was like all like really shiny gold, and it had like the huge turntable, like old phonograph turntable. It looked really cool. I still have some of the labels because I collect a lot of them. That's why Tony mentioned, you know, like, do you collect your cans?
Yep.
And I must have like 30 or 40 pages of fucking, you know, labels all on those sheets. And I want to either make like something similar to this, or like a coffee table, or like put them in a scrapbook, or put them like, you know, kind of like big game hunting, but with beer, like it, because with
paper your walls.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. But
show your dedication.
But I know like other half has like special messages on the bottoms of the can, so I start cutting those at one point. I have like a little bin with like 50 or 60 of them. So like I'll show the label, and I'd show like just be like how they display bugs, but with beer, like with the pin, like pinning bugs like onto the boards. Yeah, it'd be pretty.
A beer type that you prefer, that you like?
I have kind of three ones that I typically float between. I absolutely love sours, gozes, but that one was good. But I like the ones that are super sour, super tart. They get you back in the jowls.
Rot in your teeth mode.
That's the one, exactly. Other than that, double and imperial IPAs, hardcore, like if you're at least 8.5% or higher.
Yeah.
Or super dark, super sinister stouts. Like one of my absolute favorites is Old Rasputin from North Coast Brewery out of California. Oh, that thing is phenomenal. And if you ever have a moment, look up the story of Rasputin, the Russian mystic that was named after. I remember it well enough to tell it, but never say die.
Is what go ahead. Is there anything you guys prefer?
I don't know IPAs well enough to have a favorite.
Do you have like an ale over a?
Yeah, more of an ale than just more of an ale than anything else. As long as they're not very hoppy.
Fair enough.
I'll do IPAs, and I'm open-minded enough that, like, okay, real hoppy IPAs, I'll have one, and I can drink hoppier IPAs, but at some point then I want a stout. And I forget the name of it, but it was a stout. It was on nitrous. Right, half or six still had tits. I would have married that son of a bitch. It was that good. Yeah.
Wasn't 1050, was it?
No, but I've had that. Yeah. I forget. It was 3 years ago. That was. But yeah.
I felt that way about Druthers oatmeal stout.
Yeah, it was a.
I had that in Albany, and
it was an oatmeal stout.
Don't worry, I'm tagging you a whole bunch on.
everything.
No, I'm trying to get something else. You're good. Go ahead. You're good.
So, squared away. What about you, Austin?
See, I'm past and now again fat kid, so I love that sour beer, like
candy.
I love candy. Fat. So that's what the sours remind me of. It reminds me of eating a warhead. Okay. The issue I have, and that actually got a lot better, that it sat a little bit. I haven't been able to find a sour that was like, holy shit, like that's sour.
I'll give you one after the show. It was one that I gave Brett. And
awesome. And then I find myself going back to double and triple IPAs a lot. More of the times out in Cali, a lot of the triples are super, like they'll start off juicy and then they'll hit bitter. And I like that. I like that if I pay for a beer, I can taste it. So a lot of doubles and triples and sours.
Yeah, like usually like the big three, in my opinion, are like your IPAs, any kind, sours, any kind, stouts. Those are your big three. You're not really going to knock either one of those out. They're just stapled. They're just sitting there, sitting pretty much everyone can get into them.
Yeah.
That's how I truly feel about, those styles. Like if you're looking at barley wines or lagers or anything like that, yeah, sure, you're going to get your crowd, but it's not going to be like if you're doing craft, like your big three, like those ones.
Right.
So I personally feel like that. I mean, you got to really do some wild and crazy shit to really bring like a fourth into the fold.
Yeah. This year's Brewfest was a great, if you're brand, like, so I recommend to people, if you like beer and you want to definitely try this scene out, do Brewfest, because normally every brewery is going to bring 2 to 3 beers. and they're probably going to bring an IPA, a stout, and now they're probably going to bring a sour. That's probably the 3 they're going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
This year's Brewfest, they had a competition, so it kind of makes you kind of drink a certain beer more than another one because you want to be able to judge. A lot of people this year, I know they judged based on the brewery overall and not the beer they brought. But when you go there, you have to ask especially the competition, you have to find out which is the beer that's in the competition. But a lot of them came with sours this year. And I think it was a really good introduction to people to, if you're going to be into the craft beer scene, the sours did a really good job this year at Brewfest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my recommendation. If it's something you want to try, do Brewfest. If a Brewfest isn't available and you want to give it a shot and you don't want to spend money on a full bottle, which is understandable because a lot of times people are like, well, I don't really want to do a full bottle because I don't want to pay all the money for buying multiples. Try places like Humble Tap, where you can go in and try a bunch of samples and find out where your palate is. And then if you're at the point where you're more comfortable that you want to buy a full case, or if you don't want to, there's places that do mix of 6s. Or then you can go to places like the Cake Stand and you can get, a full variety. Some breweries sell variety packs. We just bought one from Flying Dog. It was all their summer beers. That you got 4 beers, 12 cans. It was what, $21 you said?
Yeah,
something like that. Like, I mean, so give it a shot. If you're amicable, and a lot of those places too, like I know the Cake Stand's very good with it. Every employee there is very good with their reviews. So if you say, hey, I'm more into this style of beer, they'll steer you in the right direction.
They're knowledgeable.
Yes.
Holy shit, that flight the can.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even if you're just going to bars and stuff, if they have stuff on tap, they'll usually give you a little sample.
And they will.
Yeah.
They will.
Just to try.
Yep. A lot of every bar I've been to, they will say, hey, can I just try a little bit of that before I buy a full glass?
And I want to reiterate what Tony said. If you're just trying craft beer for the first time, don't write it off because the first one you tasted you didn't like. There's that many varieties of IPAs, sours, ales, porters, stouts. You'll find a beer you like.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
The only problem with
so
these
many.
beers is you'll probably fall in love with it and you'll never get it again.
Yeah, for real.
I'm gonna go off track a little bit. I want to ask only because you're the youngest here, and I was
What
your
is
age
this?
once, and I drank.
Grapefruit IPA by
Refuge.
Refuge.
I haven't
Dear Lord.
gotten inebriated on craft beer.
Oh, I've been fucked.
That's what I'm
You
getting at.
haven't?
No, not the slurry.
Episode 1, Bangin Beers, we destroyed Austin.
Not that.
You know what destroyed me?
Dan.
You know what destroyed me? Afterwards with Ben.
Yeah.
We're sitting upstairs playing Smash, and he's like, "Here, try this one, try this one."
What I'm trying to get at is I've gotten drunk on, and I mean drunk on, everything from Stegmeyer to Ortlieb's and everything in between.
To Captain Morgan.
Well, no, I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to go into whiskey.
That's another story.
That's a whole other story
That's a whole
entirely.
other story.
And
And that's
We
part
can't-
two.
we can't tell that
that's
story.
not- that's-
No, we can't.
that is
That's
not
part
for
two.
publication. But anyway,
Yeah, we can't tell that story.
what I'm trying to get at is, and I've had Stegmeyer hangovers, whatever. Is there a bad hangover from getting hammered on craft beer? To me, if I drink good whiskey or good scotch,
Yeah.
you don't get near the hangovers
Yes.
you get from drinking.
There
like
has to be.
passport.
There has to be.
so
You know
before-
why? Everything they put in it is what gives you the hangover.
Okay, that
Not necessarily. See, when I first started drinking, I was the type of person who I spent more money at the bar, but I didn't get hangovers, and I didn't understand why. And then I went to the legend, the sensei of beer, and he goes, "Well, that's because you're paying for top shelf. So because their liquor is a lot stronger, it doesn't have a lot of the preservatives and everything else that's going to get you sick."
Right.
Sorry.
You're great. Holy shit.
And he also said that I don't drink a lot of like fruity stuff. Like I'm not drinking Smirnoff. I'm not drinking those really sugary drinks,
right.
which is going to dehydrate you more and give you more of a hangover.
Right.
So I learned a lot from that. What another rug pipe.
So for me, the only time
Here, drink
I get crazy hungover is There's a place out.
Okay, yeah. Now you're drinking whiskey that's in beer.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah, that's called Boilermaker.
Yeah.
You good old day. Yeah.
That's
yeah. I've had
that was the only
You're mixing.
That was the only time I've been super hungover.
Budweiser gets me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I get a headache from
Premium.
I noticed
Budweiser will give me a hangover.
Budweiser gives me. And if I get really drunk on lager,
gives me a headache.
Really?
Draft beer, I can drink. There's times I drink two or three drafts.
Now, here's something that can help you
with a killer headache.
Here's something that might help you. A lot of people, when they start working in a bar service, they think that they only can give you an inch of head with your beer. Drink a little bit of it so there's some room in your glass, and it may sound gross, but if you're not a dirty person, don't worry about it. But take your finger and swish it around your beer. Get that carbonation out. So when we do it here, we call it a violent pour. He was doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You pour it violently and get as much head as you can. People think if you get a lot of head, you're going to not get as much beer. And that's not true. The head will meet the beer and you will get the same amount of alcohol. But if you get a pour where they put it exactly at the corner and fill it and there's zero head, you didn't release any of that carbonation out of that beer. And all that carbonation is sitting in your belly. It's sitting and it's going to release inside of you and you're going to get sick and you're going to get that bloated feeling.
And it's even better is you eat a lot of pretzels on top of that. That like corks it until you get home. Then you get sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
So get a beer and kind of especially if they pour.
But on the other side of the
around
coin,
a little bit.
What you're saying about the head, you have to understand something. Most bars, especially mugs, most mugs are very deceptive.
Mm-hmm.
They'll feel heavy. They'll look heavy. They'll look like a 16-ounce mug. That son of a bitch is 12 if you're lucky, more than likely 9.
Yeah.
Now they put a 2-inch head on that. You're getting 7 ounces, maybe 6 ounces of beer. You're paying for 12 or 16 if it's a quote 16-ounce glass. I would rather, if I'm drinking tap beer, that's why if it comes in a can, I'll pour it into a glass because I'm paying for 16 ounces of beer and that's what I'm getting.
Yes.
And if I'm paying $8 for a glass of beer, I want 16 ounces of it.
Yes.
This isn't Miller Lite, $3 a glass. No, this is $8 a glass.
I will drink a little bit of it and get into that comfortable level, and I'll swish my finger on it and break it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying to get, and the bartenders at tap know that sometimes the beer doesn't pour well.
Yeah.
And they'll try like hell not to give you 2 inches of sometimes.
A bartender should pour it, let the head subside, and pour it again.
Right. But if they're busy
Now, so far, with this grapefruit, my first sip, it tasted like I drank a firework. It tastes. Did anyone get a smokiness to it?
Yeah, a good hint, and the grapefruit to me was just overpowering.
Yeah,
real strong on that.
I could tell. Yeah, I knew it was a grapefruit as soon as I taste. Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of grapefruit beer. I really am not.
See, I'm not getting so much grapefruit. I love grapefruit beer. The best grapefruit beer we ever had was that one in Texas, where it literally tasted like you unscrewed grapefruit juice out of a thing and drank it.
That was blood orange. We always keep telling it. It's grapefruit.
It tasted like grapefruit. It was a blood orange, but it tasted like grapefruit. It was unbelievable.
I'm like,
it wasn't. When
I rewatched that again, and I'm like,
it was a blood orange.
That's blood orange. I'm like, we were saying grapefruit the whole time.
But it tasted like grapefruit. It tasted like grapefruit. You had it. That was the.
It's very good.
You know what you might have?
That was the Power Stone.
I don't know what bean it's called, but your great grandmother on our mother's side, and Aunt Millie did it too, would take a grapefruit and eat it like an apple, rind and all.
I can't do the rind, but I can eat grapefruit all day long.
If you're into grapefruit and you eat it like that, you'll love it in beer. That's what I gotta say.
Dad used to eat oranges like that.
Dad did.
Yeah. I remember watching him eat an orange like an apple.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're crazy.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous reference there.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the Blackwell heritage and drinking, your old man.
Your grandfather. Yes.
He could drink.
I witnessed that. Don't get me wrong. He was an alcoholic. He was a functioning alcoholic. He worked every day of his life.
Very good dancer too, right?
Very good. Him and my mother, they would clear the dance floor to watch them do the jitterbug.
Oh shit!
And I've gotten, and that gene passed me
a gene by which
entirely.
neither one of us got.
Yes, yeah, that passed me entirely.
Right over me as well.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mosh. I'm a punk rocker. I jump. That's all I do.
As the old saying goes, be all you can be.
Army.
He was. If you're gonna be a drunk, he was the drunk. I mean,
He nailed it.
He was top notch.
Yes.
He was A class.
Yeah.
He was A class.
I watched him.
Fighter as well.
I watched him sit in
No.
an easy chair,
Only sometimes.
and he had a gallon or 1,500 milliliter, whatever, the big jug of Jacqueline's vodka. We're talking top shelf here. Had the pourer pulled out of it, and he had beer. He watched, and I watched with him, one half of Eagles game.
Was he an Eagles fan?
He was a football fan. I won't so sure. I don't
He didn't
know.
have a team?
I don't know.
I never asked that question.
I don't know.
He and I weren't on a sports level father-son relationship.
Yeah.
But anyway, he drank that Jacqueline's vodka like I drink ice water.
Wow.
This wasn't a sip.
Never even winced.
Wins. That's what I said. I like on August afternoon. Run around the block and then drive down. He drank 3/4 of that vodka and God knows how many beers. That son bitch walked. And he was. It wasn't no bouncing to the bathroom. No, he walked to the bathroom and come back.
Like, hey,
it's
this
like
is shoe
that's
nice.
that's when I knew that was 18.
Yeah.
That was and I've drunk my share of hard liquor and.
I tried to go drink with you the year after you became the captain, and it didn't work out well for me at all.
No, it
rarely
comes
does.
from an experience. Yeah, it comes from
Rarely does.
I mean, I think I have a very high alcohol tolerance. Like I can go out and drink a bunch of beers and be good, but I will never surpass Uncle Butch.
No, I tried that at 18 and it didn't work out too well.
Yeah,
that was a story.
The only two people that I know that can drink more. There's 3 people on this planet that I know that can drink, and that'd be you, that'd be Carl,
and Carl's my hero.
Yes,
yeah,
and Scob.
I don't know him, but
Scob is a guy from Fractal. He looks like Hulk Hogan. He's a fucking animal.
Well, like Frankenstein Dutch boy.
Yeah,
back in the day when firehouses had bars,
when they had bars. Still do.
It's like we totally surpassed. Like, then they had bars.
Yeah, it was a little different back then.
Yeah,
back in the day, when I first started in fire service, we had the bar and
open 7 days a week.
Or how about this? We phrase it this way. Back in the day, when the firefighters would hang out in the bar, and if the pager went off, they went out with it.
Yeah,
nowadays,
sometimes
they don't hang out in the bar because they're a lot more responsible.
The bars aren't open like they used to.
Yeah, and if they're there, they're there just waiting for a pager, and they're not there boozing up all day.
Right. We decided, they decided to test my manhood. And
not really.
They said they were busting my balls about me. You know, I'm the young guy, I'm the new guy, and they got to see if I can drink. So
you're pretty straight edge too, by the way.
Huh?
You're very you're very straight edge. Like I mean, beer is your only vice. Like you're very straight edge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we decided.
I know him when.
So we decide to.
Maybe there's more to my dad that I don't know about.
I decide I'm gonna go shot for shot with him, and another guy at the firehouse.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Joe Killian.
No, Papa Bear.
Papa Bear. That's even worse.
Who's Papa Bear?
Billy Killian's father.
Bill Killian's father. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going shot for shot with him. I even at a young age I knew I couldn't go shot for shot with Papa Bear.
And Papa Bear drank Seagrams. Everybody else drank Christian Brothers. No, he drank Seagrams.
So we start and we do shot after shot after shot. I don't know how many we did. I lost count. Plus Bear. And we were hammered. The next morning I woke up and I was watching Saturday morning cartoons, Bugs Bunny, with the garbage bag in front of me.
On the easy chair.
On the easy chair with the garbage bag in front of me. And I was just I had thrown up everything possible,
You were heaving at this point,
including my left testicle, and now it was just dry heaves.
Yeah.
And he comes down,
Down the steps.
I catch him in Shenandoah. I catch him coming down the steps, and he looks like I feel.
Yep.
And winks at you and walks up the door.
He gets. I dry heave. I was glancing up, and he's coming down. He's looking like I feel, and I start dry heaving again. And then he puts on the act, and he comes down with the chest button. He's like, "Drinking with fucking big boys last night, huh?" And I look up there, "Fuck you!" And I went like this with the garbage bag on. "You're gonna be using this in 5 minutes."
And I didn't. But yeah, if he would have dry heaved one more time, if he would have puked, I would have been sharing the bag with him.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the party.
I had nothing left to throw up, or he'd have enjoyed it.
Yeah,
But I will say this: I matched him fucking shot for shot.
You did.
We did rum and coke for rum and coke that night. That was our gentleman's agreement, and we were in our fifth rum and coke, and I remember we walked in, and they were like, "Oh, Captain." And who's this guy?
We're going to go into that story. We cannot go into that story.
I'm not going to go. I will keep out all the details. But we walked in. They said, "Hey, Captain," and I said, "Cool. Yeah, he's a legend here." And they literally
we won't say where.
They literally put the bottle of Captain Morgan in front of him, and they said, "That one's for you." And I said, "Well, tonight," I said, "I'm going to lose, but I want to have a good time. We're gonna go drink for drink." And he looked at me and goes, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, but I'm gonna have a story to tell tomorrow."
I even said, "Yeah." I said, "You don't want to do that."
No.
I was on my 6th Captain and Coke. Now she was being very generous with the pour.
Mm-hmm.
I look over. I'm like, "Where's your Coke?" He was drinking glasses.
First off, as you were alluding to before, Coca-Cola gives you a hangover when you drink alcohol.
I learned this the next day.
You eliminate the Coca-Cola and drink good alcohol, you're still going to get shit.
He was drinking rum on ice.
Yeah.
It was right.
Captain on Ice.
We found Captain Morgan right the year it came out.
Yeah.
We found it at that party.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like you ever had that one booze that you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I cut his sorry, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He found that we found.
I walked out of my own power that night though.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
You did. We can't go into detail what happened before that.
He did.
And the contest you won. However,
you were proud of me by the end of the night.
I was ecstatic.
He earned my stripes that night.
I earned my stripes.
Stripes. Yeah, you even showed them.
Yeah.
But the year before, he walked out under his own power. Not very well, but he walked out.
Yes.
He was 1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah,
he eventually made it to the car.
Yeah, I missed the entire second playoff game.
Yeah,
and the show. But you'll have this.
We get to Frackville. We have a designated driver. We get to Frackville, and there's a fucking checkpoint right by Setlock's office. Right, so we come down, and as we're coming down, Uncle Jody was driving. I'm there, Joe. Just go to Maria Road. Just turn off and go to Maria Road.
I know them.
Fuck that. I haven't been drinking. Yeah. So he's
rest in peace, Jody.
He pulls up and he pulls the window down and he goes, "I don't fucking."
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Dave, how you doing? Jody, what are you doing in this car?
I'm driving these fucking idiots home.
My brother-in-law's. He goes, anybody drinking tonight?
All of them.
He goes, "Yep, they were." He goes, "Anybody drunk tonight?" And me and Jody at the same time. "Oh yeah, him."
Get out of here, Jody.
Get out of here.
He was the people joke around when I go out because of this fucking podcast and like, "Oh, the mayor's here." I get that guy.
The mayor.
Jody was the mayor
of Frackville.
Yeah,
Jody Iwep, God rest his soul, was a legend.
Yeah. He was amazing. I didn't drink an ounce.
No, he quit.
Yeah,
he quit.
Quit
smoking, quit drinking.
Yep. He was
the only thing he didn't do was find God.
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He put all of his energy in from drinking and smoking into bowling, and God was he a legend at it.
And umping.
And umping.
Little league.
Jody Webb.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
he was
was
able to play
every
poker
one of your
pretty good,
baseball
too.
games.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was able to play poker pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah, he was a good poker player.
Yeah.
If
I remember
things
that.
were different, he would have been on TV.
Yeah.
He would have won a final table
I
somewhere
would watch
somehow.
him play
Remember when
at places that we cannot say. But I would watch him play, and
do you remember? We still have time here. Do you remember when you and Jody took me? I was fresh 20. I mean, I wasn't even 21 yet. I was only 18, 19, and you guys are like, we're gonna go to this place, and they knock on the door, and they literally slid like a fucking gangster. They slid the door peak open, and Jody goes, "Dang!" And they're like, "Jody, they're with me. Let us." And we went in, and it was this is before card games were allowed to be in Pennsylvania.
yeah. We can't say where that was.
We can't
that
say
was
that.
a big. That was a big part.
That was
card
a
game.
big thing.
That was a big card
We
game.
walked in. There's like 40 fucking tables.
Yeah.
Now I'm 18. My only experience of playing cards is with the asshole that sits every Thursday night. You know what I mean? Like, and I did very well. But the problem is they all tried to punk me because I was young, and there was just I don't know who the guy was, but he was a prick.
I know. I know. He's actually a nice guy.
I threatened to fight him. I said, "Yo, we're gonna go outside. I'm gonna fight you." like so. I go to deal the cards, and I go because at this point there's no dealer. Everyone just takes turn being the dealer.
Turns.
So I go to like throw him his card, and he's sitting under the air vent, and the air catches it and flips it, and it's an ace. Oh, and he just starts riding me, and I'm like, oh, so I had to re-deal, and I didn't say nothing, and the cards come back around again. And it's my turn to deal, and he's sitting there like this, hogging up half the table like this, and they're like, all right, everyone deal, and I go to deal his first card, and he goes like this to look at his card, and his two cards are sitting in front of him. Now I've dealt everyone at the table except him.
It was a misdealt because there was two cards out of the deck.
Yeah, and people were probably sitting on decent hands. Now we got to shuffle them all up and do it again. So now everyone at the table is I'm public enemy number one because he already made me enemy with the ace, flipping over with the air, and now he leaned on the two cards
purposely
to make me a dick again. So I deal them all out, and I didn't even look at my cards. I pulled a Muzzy on him. Like I'm gonna say God rest in peace, Muzzy, because he doesn't exist anymore. And if you know who Muzzy is, you would agree with that statement. He's alive and well, but R.I.P. Muzzy. So we put the cards in front. I don't even look at him, and I say all in. And I looked right, and the guy sitting shoulder to shoulder with me. I said, "And you better go all in too, buddy." And he goes, "What?" I said, "Because one of us is leaving this game. Because if we don't, we're gonna be fighting in fucking 20 minutes." And he looks at me and goes, "What?" I said, "Fucking," and he looks at his card and goes, all right, all in. And I beat him. And I took him out of the game. Yeah. Because if one of us was not leaving that game, we were fist fighting. We were in a fist fight.
I know him. He's actually a nice guy. But I guess when some people play cards, they get a little
ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
He
looked at me and seen a young kid and he went for it.
I think
that's exactly what happened there. And then by that time I was just so fed up with the game I didn't play like I would normally play. And it kind of like ruined poker. I stopped really playing after that because I used to love doing it. Like Texas Hold'em was fun.
You know what ruined it for me? Going to Atlantic City and playing.
Really?
Oh man!
Like, wow, I'm not good at all.
Yeah. I did okay because I went in. I was kind of playing even, and then I had trip queens, and a guy raised me that just about put me all in, and I forget the saying.
Was he sitting on a flush possibly?
I don't know, but I was looking at the flop, and I was looking at what everything was on the table, and I'm thinking he had me almost all in. So there's a saying: if you don't know who the fish at the table is, you will fish.
Yeah.
And
rounders.
I kind of played right into that theme because I simply called him instead of saying "fuck it all in" because I had like $20 left.
Yeah.
So I simply called him instead of saying, "Well, fuck it, I only got $20 left. I'll just go all in." And I ended up beating him with three queens. He was bluffing. And then that put me up about $200. And I said, "Fuck it, I'm out." I cashed out.
You're like fucking.
I said, "Fuck it, I'm not rolling the dice again."
He made your dick pucker a little bit. You're like, I'm fucking out of here.
And then another time I was down there, I got pocket aces twice in a row, and won both hands. And I had already said to Mom,
"Come bail me out."
At this time, I want you to call me. And the rule in Atlantic City is if your phone rings, you have to get up off the table to answer your phone.
Yes.
You can't be talking on the phone.
So it's a good out.
It's a good out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was worried about, if you're up and you walk away from the table, people tend to get pissed off about
Because you're
that.
walking out with their money.
And nobody really gives a shit.
Yeah.
And
Now, if you do that at a place we were at,
if you do that at a place, they get kind of pissed.
like the place where he was the captain, if you walk away with your money there, they're going to be upset.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Jody played some cards there.
Yeah.
I remember walking over just like, hey, Uncle Jody. And I wanted to be like drunk buddy. And I walked up and put my hand on his shoulder and looked at the table. I said, I'm not coming anywhere near this fucking place.
Yeah.
That was a card game.
Yeah, there was some.
But we had, I had some two nights in Atlantic City of good fortune, 2 times in Atlantic City of good fortune, and one not so good night of good fortune where I lost it all. But I didn't. I mean, you find a table that your buy-in is like $100.
Yeah.
You're not going crazy, and once I walked out with like 200, another time I walked out with like 275, and the next time I lost.
Grab a can of lollipop.
The next time I
Lollipop.
walked out, I lost
Lollipop.
about 125.
I was gonna go choose your own adventure, but
Lollipop.
okay.
But that was my 2 or 3 experiences in Atlantic City, and that kind of turned me off from poker because I'll stick to the friendly games at the firehouse.
Yeah.
which we
don't do
aren't even
anymore.
played anymore.
Yeah. That they were fun because you played $5 and you played until the game only cost you $5.
It's a $5 game, $5 buy-in. You get
So
bunch
this
of
we're
chips.
gonna add one more to the table. We're gonna go 9. This is Trogs Lollihop. We did get it from the cake stand.
Yep.
I asked and he got it for me. The can is beautiful. I love the black, the label. It looks good. So Trogs, when we were at Brewfest, they didn't have Lollihop on tap. They had First Cut, and they said Lollihop is hard to find. Even Trogs said it was hard to find. And they said when they made this beer, the beer took a fork in the road, and half the batch went one way, and half the batch went the other. Half of it became Lollihop, and half of it became First Cut. And the reason because they split the batch the way they did makes both beers very hard to find. So we're gonna have Lollihop because this is at the cake stand now.
I have 4 packs available.
There is 4 packs available. So if you are looking for Lollihop, get it now. It's at the cake stand, the cake stand in Monte City, and I don't know if it's there anymore, but it was on draft at the Greystone in Pottsville. So we're gonna crack open a Lollihop, and this is gonna be last beer of the day, and then we'll wrap it up. Sound good?
Yep.
You guys have a good time today?
That's good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having a good time and enjoying us here on the podcast.
And then after we wrap it up, we'll tell the story we couldn't tell on the air.
Yeah, that'll be for later.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the lollipops sounded like volleyballs for a second.
So I had this on tap and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Now, First Cut was
Mhm.
better. First Cut's a good beer.
You think?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh. I have a Trogs bandana upstairs. I got from the last beer fest I was at.
You shouldn't even be allowed to fucking wear it. After telling the president their beer sucks.
I shouldn't. I made up
will
for
agree
it,
though. I think First Cut is better.
What is your favorite Trogs beer?
The Java Stout.
Okay.
The Java Stout.
What about you?
Mad Elf because of the first, time I
Mad
had.
Elf is delicious. Yeah. What about you? You really haven't had. You turned 21 and immediately went to San Diego.
Mad Elf
He
or
turned 21 in San Diego.
Yeah.
it's Mad Elf or Flying Mouflon. They
There's
used to make
one
Flying
that
Mouflon,
Dave
like,
Martin brought,
season-
and I don't remember what it was. We had it during a podcast. What?
I'm thinking.
I forget
That's
what
why
it's called.
that's why I went.
That was a
with
really
the
good
fish
beer.
there.
Yeah.
Like-
what's your favorite Trogs?
I absolutely love drinking the Java Head now and again,
Bravo.
but
La Grava, yeah.
I've probably drank 30 cases of Perpetual IPA. That's one of my absolute
Perpetual's-
favorite IPAs.
Petrol and Nugget Nectar are really good.
Mhm.
And their scratch, if you can get a hand on their scratches are really good.
They had a peach one that I had last summer that was phenomenal.
I've
What
had
is the Trogs peach we have right now?
Serpetche.
Okay.
That's the one I got you because
Yeah.
I went to Shangy's and they redid the whole store. They used to have like the 22 ounces in boxes,
Mhm.
but now they finally put everything in fridges and everything else, and you can get single cans. And it's really nice knowing that you can actually do that now versus buying a
I'm
whole
gonna take
fucking
one
box.
quick pee, and you guys talk here.
The
kind of shine,
the Victor. I don't know if you've ever had like the cake stand. It was the cream something, like a cream ale almost.
That I don't know. I do get some Victory stuff in right now. A Dirt Wolf.
Dirt Wolves is a staple for me. I like that. I just like it because I like wolves, like Dirt Wolf, and it's a decent, it's something to kill the time with, pass by pretty much.
And actually, one thing that they have, their Prima Pils is phenomenal. You don't see a lot of craft pilsners out there, and that actually I like because it's 5.5%. It gives you a little bang for the buck. A lot of times your pilsners are 4.2, 4.5, somewhere in that range. But this is a really good tasting one that gives you a little bit of a kick.
I'm going down there. I'm going down to Downingtown. Look at the calendar.
Well, since we got a second, I want to thank Jess who came in to cover for me at the cake stand, so I was able to be here today.
Good job.
Yeah. Say hi to Jess, everybody.
Hi, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
All right, thanks, guys.
But one thing, if we weren't going to do the lollipop, I usually do. Antonio always sort of hates when I do this. I do choose your own adventure and pick out. I did it with Apollo 88 earlier today, and one beer was chicken and broccoli from Other Half, and then we did the Sour Farmhouse Double IPA that I gave you. I'm going to give you then too.
Yes.
And the one was like, it was a split, and the drummer had to say something about it, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever, I don't care. We're going to drink it either way. They picked the Sour Farmhouse Double, and he fucking loved it.
Yeah.
It was a really good one because that has elderflower, orange peel, and it's with their own yeast cultures in that with, I think, Citra and cashmere hops.
Now, did you ever have the blood orange goza from Anderson Valley?
I've had quite a bit of their stuff, but I think I may or may not have had that.
That was actually the first sour or goza that I ever had, and that's what kicked it off. The first time I had that, boom.
We had a ridiculous one today. It was a Henry and Fran Himalayan pink salt and goza, and the
Very
can, and it was like it was phenomenal. Like it tasted like the can that we had tastes like a lemon Skittle. It was like, wow.
Now, is there anything at the cake stand that you're looking to get soon? That or something you have your eye on that you're trying to get?
Right now, I got everything in that I was trying to hunt down. Mostly, from Dirtac, they typically give me a heads up. I'll get a list of 30 or 40 seasonals and one-offs that they're running. So I'll pre-order those ahead of time. Other than that, we just one of our distributors, Sacco, they closed down. Dirtac bought most of their stuff out, but now Midstate, they're out of Williamsport. They're delivering to Schuylkill County finally because they used to just run stuff through Schuylkill County.
Now, can they get stuff from Abominations and Rotundas and stuff like that?
No. To the best of my knowledge, Rotunda and Abomination are only selling directly out of where they're brewing, or I know Abomination will go into different breweries and they'll do a collaboration where they'll make. I wish I could get my hands on some Abomination. Yeah. Oh my god!
I have stickers all over the place. Very nice guys. Honestly, I think one of the best connections we made that day was probably Abomination. Really cool dudes. We had a good conversation with them.
Yeah, Josh is awesome.
They took our pictures that we used from the Brewfest that day and put it on their site. Nice. A lot of love between us. I love them a lot. I got really nice glassware from them. Right now from Austin's using one right now. I actually have the Rotunda, which I'm really excited for. It's my two favorite breweries besides Pillaroo. I love those guys too because they're our buddies. Their Gears Iced Tea beer was awesome that day.
That was good.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed I had pool playoffs that day and couldn't make the Brewfest. That's the first one I ever missed.
What happened that day?
I had my APA pool team made our matchup in Mount Pocono, so we were 2 hours away.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Such is life.
But so right now, what's at the cake stand that you would recommend to people?
Jeez, the 4-pack Oliver Brewing Company that you guys did with Bad Maggie.
Yep,
those were really good.
They were amazing. And the can art, you can't see it because it's boxed up. The can art is awesome.
Yeah,
it's super heavy metal.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff there, and mostly just stop in while I'm there and tell me what kind of stuff you like. I'll walk you around and find stuff for you.
Yeah. Is the beer still there? The single cans?
Yes. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the passion fruit one. I think that's what it is. The red can. They've been out of stock for a little bit, but I got plenty of the green and plenty of the gold.
So I actually enjoyed the gold the best.
Mhm.
I think out of the three, the gold is the best. If you want to try a different type of beer, definitely try the beer made with hemp.
Hemp tails.
It honestly, it's a different type. Like it's a different type of buzz. Like when you drink it, you're like, okay. It's not. Maybe it's because it's made with hemp and not your traditional other stuff. I don't know how it's made, but it was a different. Like to me, I take CBD every day, and when I take my CBD, it helps my joint pain and stuff. That beer kind of felt like a CBD-ish feeling, but it wasn't like obviously like. So I don't want people to think, oh, it's weed beer, I'm gonna get fucking high. That's not what you're gonna feel at all. But it is a different type of feeling there, and it tastes like flavored ginger ale. So if you like the like not your grandfather's ginger ale beer, give it a shot. It's really good. We got a single can from you before, the apple and raspberry sour. It was in a purple can.
The Brattlberry.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was really
amazing.
Good.
That was my first sour. I was like, I like sours.
I think there's maybe 2 cans of that left.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I would tell people to snatch that up.
It is pricey. I think for the 12-pack. I bought a 12-pack of it to sell in the store. It cost me like $90.
Really?
Which is why I sell in the cans for $7.50 a piece.
Yeah, I bought 2 of them so far. They were really good.
I bought 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. I bought actually we have 3 of them we bought because we drank one and then went back and got another 2 because we really liked them. I mean, it's pricey, but it's a good beer.
Yeah, it's
a really good beer.
It's from Hermit Thrush out of Vermont, I think.
Yeah. And then if you really want a good variety pack right now for the summer, if you're brand new with the craft scene and you live in Monty City or you're in the Normandy area that listens to this and you really want to say, hey, I want to try craft beer. I want something that's not super hoppy, but I want a nice summer beer where it's relaxing and it doesn't have it has a good strong flavor, but not a hoppy feeling. I would definitely recommend the Flying Dog variety pack.
Check with me next Monday if I can get more in.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone.
It's a summer variety, so I should be able to get more. Like it's weird sometimes trying to forecast what I need. Like the Lollihop. I got 3 cases of that. It was gone by the end of the week.
Yep.
Other stuff I'll get 2 cases and it'll sit there for 2-3 months till I
there's
basically sell somebody on.
There's some beer connoisseurs that go there because they know they're good. Yeah, that's a good.
It's funny because I used to just have more of the run-of-the-mill stuff, the local Trogs, Victory, whatnot. It'd sell all right. Now I'm getting stuff that like I said, I'm paying $60, $70, sometimes $90 a case for stuff, and that's flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
Because it's harder to come by and it's more sought after, and people are actually coming and looking for it, and it's been a major help for sales.
Now, do you check it like when you, as a business with Untappd, do you put on Untappd, like, I don't know how it works for a business end, but like I know like you can go on Untappd and say, I want Lollihop. And you can go on a business and say, I'm looking for this beer, and it'll say this place has it. Do you guys do that at all?
No, I haven't looked into that at all. But that's a good idea.
Yeah,
definitely look into
I know we tried it with a few years. Like, hey, we're looking for this, and you go on Untappd and you say, where in my area can I find this? And it'll give you an idea. Like, but yeah, definitely check out the Keg Stand My City, man. Like I honestly, some good stuff. The Keg Stand made me more of a fan of Rusty Rail. Every Rusty Rail I've ever gotten from the Keg Stand, I've been a fan of.
Yeah.
Even the cranberry.
We gotta do the brunch.
Yeah.
We gotta do the brunch.
We're making a trip in a couple of weeks here to go to Flying Dog. Flying Dog's been has been my
the end of June.
Yeah, that's been my go-to. I wanted to do that for a long, long time. I live in Schuylkill County. I've never done the Yuengling chore.
Neither have I.
I don't know why. Like
10 years.
Like I feel like an asshole.
All my life, and I went once to the Pioneer Tunnel, and then
Yeah.
So
now I heard some rumors that Yuengling might be bringing back the bourbon barrel aged.
I've not heard that.
And I've heard it's not just going to be on tap. They may bottle it, which would be amazing because it was
really good.
It was my favorite bourbon aged beer I've ever had. It's bourbon aged black and tan.
Yeah, it was really good.
But see, like your bourbon aged, I've had Scotch aged in Scotch barrels, and they're all going to be high alcohol content. That one that was aged in Scotch barrels, it was aged in rum barrels. I had it at tap, and that might have been like 18, 16.
The thing about
And literally, I
the
said,
thing
to him,
about
I
the
said, you warm
Yingling,
this up, throw a pat of butter on it. You have hot butter is wrong.
yeah. The thing about
it's
the
good,
Yingling was
but it's
it wasn't.
brand,
It didn't
you know,
taste.
it wasn't boozy.
It didn't taste boozy.
No.
You can tell it was barrel aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I mean, I've tasted barrel aged that you're like, holy shit, I'm drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
Disguised as beer.
It was
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah,
It
bourbon
was
with a
really
head.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bourbon with a head.
Yeah.
And he tasted it. I don't
We're
remember the
doing that
name,
one for the next
but it
one.
was like 20
Mhm.
or 21%. And
She
even
gave
the
it- she gave
bartender
it to me in a
there.
flight by accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't know it was not available.
Yeah, you
on the
weren't
flight.
allowed to get a real
What?
glass of it.
This,
Okay.
this bourbon barrel aged.
No,
that I
this
got.
I forget, but literally, and I'm not one to drink cleaning fluid, but that's exactly that was the description I gave. And I swear I don't smoke. If you threw a match at that son of a bitch, it was going up. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was beer.
Yeah. So wrapping up here, Ben, we'll start with you. What do you got to plug? What do you got to talk about?
We got quite a bit of. We pretty much have our beer list lined up and ready to rock and roll for the next 4 shows. So,
Mhm.
between
I've seen his refrigerator 14.
Yeah, we got a lot.
we have about 4 or 5.
Listen, there's no other like I don't know about locally, but there's no other beer podcast in this area you'll go on where we don't take care of you with beer you'll never try before. We take care of you.
Yeah.
We do a good job
For
here.
real,
So like if
yeah.
you're a local person and you want to come on and hang out and tell a story or just hang out with us, you're gonna have beer here that you're not gonna like. You're
And
not gonna
wacky
just
beer on
find,
top of
yeah.
that,
You're not
too.
gonna find just anywhere else. Between what I mean. I mean, obviously you can find the cake stand, but we're picking. He even says like, "Hey,
That's
come here."
only tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, come here and grab this. It's gonna go
Mhm.
quick. Like it's gonna be like once it's gone type
Mhm.
deals." So
Yeah.
And I find it funny because if we didn't do the lollipop, I usually like doing the thing, and I was saying this when you were gone. Choose your own adventure. You were either going to get a barrel aged lager or that imperial stout that I showed you. That was with
Yeah.
it was like a pecan center too. So
yeah,
I mean, you're gonna win either way when you come on here.
yeah, we
I'm
take
gonna
care of
flex
our
my
guests.
muscles here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flex a little bit.
Uncle Butch, you got anything you want? I mean, it
This
could
is
be
my
any,
first podcast period, and beer tasting. I've been doing that a lot for a long time. Yeah.
62.
Yeah.
Is there any local
40 years.
businesses or anything you want to plug or somewhere you like? I mean, we talked about the
I don't drink much at home anymore. I go out one night a week.
to where?
Me, wherever karaoke's at, or
There you go. So Corson,
Yeah.
Corson
goes
karaoke.
to Corson, and he goes to go to McNiff's, or he's been at the Village Inn.
Sunday nights at Pine Street Pub in Tamaqua.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't go out of town.
I'm just saying,
Oh,
Corson's
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I will call you right back.
I'll give you the quick story. I was at
Mom?
when they were open till I worked second shift. I guess
Was it
at
Mom?
8 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're about to wrap, so
Yeah.
we'll take care of that.
I had a flight, 2 beers,
Mhm.
and I left. I was going down 81, and I hit a pothole and destroyed my left side front tire.
Ooh,
Blew
okay.
it right out. Pulled over. I'm texting my wife saying I just bought the car used.
Mhm.
I don't even know if there's a jack in the trunk.
Right.
Texting the wife, state cop pulls behind me. I've had that much beer in an hour.
Yeah.
By the time he takes me anywhere, I'm going to be legally drunk. At that point in time, I wasn't.
And we don't condone this at all. Anywhere else.
Don't trade him.
And it ended up, the guy come up, took my license, didn't even ask for my insurance card. He said, I just want to see who you are.
Mhm.
He said, I'll stay behind you till your tires change. So I'm praying. There's a spare.
Yeah.
I found the jack. I found his, I feel it's dark. Get the tire changed. Back in the car, give him the high sign, off I go.
Mhm.
I thought that's the closest I've ever come to going. It's like, oh, Jesus, this is all I. So yeah, so I don't drive out of town
Yeah.
unless I have a DD,
Mhm.
because I'm not going to go and drink soda.
So anyway, the plug there was William Corson's karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Yeah.
and he will be on our show in August. He's gonna come
Cool.
on and hang out with
Nice.
us. Yeah, yeah,
Sir William.
yeah. So what do you got?
That's cool.
What do I got? I'm
And you haven't sent me the link yet for your biking thing, so
it's
people
on
can
Facebook.
It's on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Send it to me
All right, I will send it to you.
or
But I
tag
am-
Bangin Beers.
podcast. I'm biking for kids cancer, riding for kids cancer the month of June. I've pledged to ride 300 miles. I did 26 and a half and yesterday, 38 and a half today.
And his
So-
pledge is getting me to Maryland so I can drink Flying Dog Brewery. So he's
Yeah.
gonna ride a bike while I get ham boned.
Yeah. We're gonna get a ride in. We're gonna get a ride in while he's at the tour. But I've pledged to ride 300 miles in the month of June.
Fuck.
And if I'll put the link on Bangin Beers, and if you can show some support and some love, that'd be great. I'm probably going to ride closer to 415 miles actually, but I pledged to ride 300.
Okay. What do you got, Brett?
Well, we already did enough job plugging the cake stand. I appreciate that a lot. And since they mentioned me when they were on here, I'll say hi to Bad Maggie, namely Norman and Stax, Tyler and Jimmy. You guys know them as, but I have different names for them. So hey guys, and yeah, Corson's at Pine Tree tonight actually. So stop by.
They're playing tonight.
Corson is.
Oh, Corson is. Yeah. Bad Maggie's playing this Saturday at Andrews in Lehighton, which is going to be the location of Skookstock this year. So if you really want to get a jump on what you're going to expect in Skookstock, you can come out and see Bad Maggie this Saturday. Me and Austin are going to be Tyler's roadies that night.
Okay.
Cannot wait.
Tyler's going to be playing in Scranton with Mahan Tango because one of their members is studying abroad for college to be a marine biologist. So they don't have a guitar player. So Tyler from Bad Maggie is filling in with that band. And then get to the Bad Maggie show so he can play that night. Yeah. And their mascot is still here, so we will bring that with us.
If you haven't been down to Andrews Sporting Club, it's an awesome venue. Like inside, it's beautiful, big comfy bar stools, like the best in town. And when their outside shows are, it's big open field. I think Jimmy told they're gonna have a bonfire the night of Skookstock, so it'll be an event.
We have a lot of cool stuff planned for that event. I mean, there's even stuff that we can't even talk about yet because it's in the works. But I mean, we have 6 of. I'm not even like I'm not just promoting this because I'm part of it. It is literally some of the 6 best bands. We have a lot of amazing talent, but we picked the 6 best bands that are available. We cover bands, 3 original bands. So we have Bad Maggie, Apollo 88, and Japan 4. That right there is already a show. And then we have Mahan Tango, Look Alive, and Faith in Exile. Amazing, amazing bands. And come out and support it and support your local music, and we're going to have a blast, I promise. That's going to be Skookstock. So, Austin, Navy boy, what do you got going on?
So, hopefully by the end of the month, when I'm cleared to run again, I'll be trying to get in shape to run a half marathon for veterans with cancer from being deployed. So, that's the only thing I have to plug. Support your local troops, support your local business.
Just support local.
Yeah, support local.
Yeah,
in general. And
my thing is, if you're gonna look for if you're looking for a business to make T-shirts for your company, if you're looking for merch, if you're look at your local businesses before you go online and say, hey, Google.com, how can I get websites? Look up who can do it locally first. That's the only thing I ask because there's so many good people in the area that are just trying their best. Support home first, and then it'll take care of itself on the way out. But that's all we got here at Bangin Beers Podcast. We got a lot of cool episodes. We have an interview tomorrow with Ted Hazard that will air Friday. Today we did back-to-back episodes. We did, what is it? What we do here? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 beers we did today, Ben. That's a show record. We did, what, 12 in one episode? Or
no, it was 15. You said.
Oh, no, we did break a record. We did 15 in one episode. So Austin's on 2 episodes and has broken 14 and 15 beers at both times. Good for you. Good for you on that. But yeah, we did a really good time. All San Diego beers, plus the addition from the Cake Stand Lollihop Trogs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to wrap it up here because we just got some news that we need to go take care of. But thank you guys so much for the continued support. Like I said, go out and support your local bands and go check out the Cake Stand in Monte City. See you guys later.
See you.
Everyone, guys.
bye.